Boy, oh boy, do we have a lively group in the green room this evening. It's going to be a fun Heritage Signature Auction recap, review, and competition, as it turns out. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But welcome to the show, everybody. Always fun to see you guys hanging out and chatting before we get started. Tom McDonald, of course, you recognize the show graphic for tonight. That was your Miles Wool piece. We'll talk about that later in the show. And lots of cool stuff going on. I got a ping from Jason D'Ambrosio. He's not going to be here tonight, but he let me know that Aranga has published interiors and a cover on a book that I will put a link in the chat later when we get kind of over towards the schedule or something. I'll share that with everybody. How did Aranga keep that to himself at Heroes? I don't understand how we never talked about that at all. But congrats to Aranga. He's going up in the world. It's nice to see somebody from our clique getting recognition like that. But so let me bring we had a huge weekend with the Heritage Signature Auction, the record-setting total for OA sales in a signature auction. We kind of felt that going into it. I think that just by the sheer number of lots that were there, along with just some of the pieces, we felt that we were going to see some significant numbers, and we did. We definitely did. So let me bring everybody in, and we'll talk about this weekend. We've got our regulars. We got Dan. We got oh my goodness, Mr. Berkey. We got Dino and Mr. Barucci. This is an all-star group here.
I know it's a 5-star group.
It's a 5-star group, exactly.
On a July 4th Stars and Stripes weekend. So
that is very true. I keep forgetting that tomorrow is a big.
We all picked Captain America art tonight.
Say what?
Alberto would like that.
Yes, he would. But yeah, so we had the big weekend. I think all of us knew going into it, even from the emails that we had, a couple weeks out, that this was going to be a significant auction. In large part because of the number of lots that were there, but also there were it seemed like there wasn't a stinker in it. Even when you were going into the Sunday set, as massive as it was, it seemed like 85% of those pieces were still all really good pieces. And in the past, you'd see like 10, 15, 20% that it didn't need to be there. But there was a lot of good art this time around from beginning to end.
Very deep auction. Heritage has bumped their commission up 5%, and I think a lot of people were sneaking it in under the wire. In fact, I believe there were actually more lots set in for this, and they pulled back a couple of dozen a couple weeks back. So this was really going to be a big one, no matter how you cut it. But also some amazing stuff too. So yeah.
Bill,
I think they also expanded the premium section or the platinum section. The initial kind of featured list was probably larger than ever before. So that bodes for a very, very tidy auction.
Kazra saying that you're kind of like a dubbed movie. Your mic is off.
Interesting. Let's see.
I hear Bill just fine.
I can hear you.
No,
I can
not
hear you, Bill.
off, not off, like not working, like his lips and the words are coming in. That's why I said like a dubbed movie.
They're probably watching on YouTube or something. You're fine, Bill.
No, I'll take a look.
Here, how's that sound? Better? Any different? I don't know. Is it on now? Can everybody hear me?
You're fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I said, it wasn't that they couldn't hear you. It's just that like the words and
the lip sync.
Your lips
wasn't synced with the camera. Okay. Oh, yeah. Everything is good now. He said mic's on. Yeah, I don't know. Weird. I was having we've had a major like thunderstorm blowing through here the last 3 or 4 hours. The power's gone off a couple times, so it's probably flaked out a couple things here. But anyways, here we're back. So a lot of factors going on in this one. I didn't even think about the 25% on art only increase to the buyer.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're the only one, Bill.
That started Tuesday.
I bid for the first time ever. I bid on 3 lots in this auction and didn't win any of them. But I get it. I tried. I wasn't a big player, and but I wanted to get the feel first for this thing. I didn't bid on the Frazetta. I'll tell you that. But I will when we get to them. I can show you one piece that I bid on that went way higher than I thought I was going to go.
Nice.
We want to know everything you bid on, Bill.
But hey, let me show the slide. Let me show my slide that we show every time we do one of these. Here's your total results for the original art side of the signature auction this past weekend. $13.7 million out of 928 lots. So 9 more lots than last time. The average price per lot went up by $1,500. And yeah, just pretty solid results all around. I mean, when you look at it, even compared to the last 2 years, which is what all these figures go with, it's that you can't really compare any signature auction prior to that one to this one. Right. I mean, but you all felt it too, right? I mean, as a lot of you were probably looking at these pieces, to bid on. And was it difficult? How long did it take you guys to kind of narrow your focus on an auction of this scale with this many really nice pieces in it?
If you're going for anything serious, I imagine you've been working on it for weeks. I just knew that there was going to be a lot of stuff going on, and I just really focused towards the last few days. Honestly, this auction was so big, I kind of feel like it sucked the oxygen out of the room for a lot of the other auctions that were going on in this cycle. And I wound up, racking up a few bills well before the lots hit the auction block. So I was kind of hobbled a little bit, but I got some great deals. People were raising money for this show.
I was watching the auction. I wasn't a participant for the most part. I put in like a couple of throwaway bids. There was a Wolverine page with Daredevil by Byrne and Jansen, and it was one of the only things I put a bid on, and I put $1,050 on it pre-juice. And I'm like, okay, I can afford $1,260. If I win this, I can afford $1,260 right now. And then it went up from 1,050 to 1,100. I was like, I'm out. There were a few things that fell between the cracks, and I'm sitting there like, oh my God, I've wanted a Burn Daredevil for years. Oh well, another day. Exactly.
I think the challenge was certainly trying to identify some targets, but the auction was so large and diversified that you can always find something that's intriguing or something that you hadn't seen before. So that drew a lot of interest, obviously, but it did feel like there was just so deep of a kind of the depth of the types of art were there. It was just amazing, and some great examples of some pieces that hadn't come up in years. So,
well, now, talking about Dan said too, I mean, basically, I think they took. I seem to remember they were up to like 970 or 980 lots, and then one day, all of a sudden, like 40 lots disappeared. So yeah, they just moved them over.
We don't know if they moved them over or did the consigners decide to pull them. That was before the auction started. So
right, I had a couple items that I was following that they tracking that said that they were pulled. Didn't say if they were was it the consignor or Heritage. One of them was I was following that Cockrum X-Men character piece with the character with the wings on it. I was kind of curious where that was going to end up because it was kind of nice, and that got pulled. So
the Starlin Death of Captain Marvel cover was a big pull. That was certainly attracting a lot of attention.
Well, and speaking of Death of Captain Marvel, I didn't pick it. I don't think anybody else did, but like the one Death of Captain Marvel page that was in the auction was probably the lowest realized Death of Captain Marvel page in years. So again, falling between the cracks. There were things that just look. I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed not having the stress of bidding on anything. So that had its plus. I assume you guys have seen the video of the one guy who said I was pleasuring myself to the Jock Joker art for 3 weeks, and then I lost it because somebody went to $288,000, and he had his middle finger up while he was doing it.
Yes, that did make the rounds.
One thing I want to touch on before we roll into this, you mentioned the depth of this auction, and something that I really noticed depth-wise that I really haven't seen in heritage auctions before is how much good material was coming from every era of collecting.
That's exactly right.
There were so many things from the last 5 years, and you never, I mean, it's not never, there would always be a piece or two, but there was a sizable amount of material that was very recent. There were big results across the board. The Frazetta cover from the 50s, the Jock cover from less than 15 years ago, and everything in between. All eras, all price points, but high, and depth everywhere.
Well, here's the funny thing. I know a few people that said to me, I'm going to go high on this auction because it's going to 25% next week. And I said to each one of them, if everybody's going high on this auction, because next week they start 25%, wait till the items come out that are in the 25% auction because everybody's pulling back.
Well, I would also argue as a bidder that commission or the buyer's premium shouldn't make a difference. I mean, you're going to pay your all-in price no matter what. It does affect the consigners a bit more, but as a bidder, you're calculating your total payment, right? Regardless, if it's a 50% premium, you're bidding lower, but you decide what that total payment is. So.
And real quick, as Nick Forst just pointed out, the guy who lost and put the middle finger up, talking about missing out on it, he has the tattoo on his arm. He actually had that cover tattooed to his arm.
Oh, well.
So he had an emotional attachment to it. He's allowed to flip that result off.
At $300,000, the guy can afford to fix his tattoo into a different image. You know, I'm just saying for $300,000.
Well, he didn't win it, so he has to.
Well, that's what Dan's saying. Now he can take the $300,000 and fix the tattoo.
Well, no, it went for $288, so he.
Yeah, but don't forget sales tax. We're not all dealers like you, Mike. We pay sales tax
and shipping. Don't forget, we got to pay shipping.
Exactly.
All right. Well, so before we get started, we did have a wrinkle in this one. Dan Poddick proposed the idea that we would select 9 lots and we would all place our best guess on where it would end up. And
I was even close on all of them.
Well, you actually did all right, but Albert was also in it because Albert was supposed to be here tonight, but he apparently had a Mets game to go watch. So I have his results as well. He didn't do very good, but he was in it on a few. So what I can't show both the spreadsheet and the lot, the heritage page. So I'm going to show the pieces that we put guesses on, and some of these we're going to talk about later. So for those of you, I know some of you have picked a couple of these, but let's not get into discussing the details. But for this one, the $456,000 result, let's see Mike Berkey actually wins this one. But you know what his guess was? 264,000.
Yeah, this was
264. We had Nick
hey, so hold on, I'm keeping track. Okay, I get 4 points. 5 points.
So this Nick, cover it sold last for 91,000 at Comic Link about 2019. So 6 times, 6 years, it sold more than 4 times. That's a very strong return. So congratulations.
Definitely.
It's amazing.
That's why all of our estimates were more.
Everybody, we were all off by at least $200,000 on this,
right?
Because look, it's not like
I wasn't
ever heard. No, Mike, you were
186, I think.
186.
Berkey's proud.
He's
proud being closest to the pin, but he didn't even make the he didn't make the green. He's still in the fairway.
This is like the Price is Right. I won the car.
All right, well let's look at the rest of them.
Closest without going over.
The final price you see.
Well, I didn't even say, I'll be honest, I didn't even use the going over or not because we were so all over the place on many of these that I had to just be closest. So the X-Men 172 ended at 78, and we were all over. However, both Dan Poddick and Mike Berkey both guessed 96. So you were the closest, but with both being over. I mean, I was at 110. We had guesses in the 120s, and here you go, 78.
I'll be honest. I thought it was expensive before the auction even started. I just figured it would get one bid when it went live, and it just didn't. But it shouldn't have even gotten that high to begin with. So
well, the natural buyer
it got a cut bid and then a full bid. It was at 60, and then it went to 62.5 and 65. So But at the same time, again, look, I'm glad it didn't go much higher because I know Gene's trying to put the book together, and this is already a monster price. So you've got people that are like, oh my God, this could be my only chance to get this page. I'm going to go as high as I can. And hopefully Gene got it.
All right. Well, Mike, so far you're 2 for 2, but it's not going to last.
I had
That's
98
okay.
on that. So
I'm winning the first quarter.
Right. You were at 98. I was at 110, just because I figured it based on where it was at, that it was going to have some play in it once it got started, but it didn't. So
Bill's setting you up, Mike. Don't get too confident.
Yeah,
I feel good. I got 2.
Because we're going to the let's see. Next up is the Frazetta Famous Funnies piece that ended at 1.035 and tying on this one. Could there be collusion on this one? I don't think so. But Dino and Dan both predicted 1.02. 1.02. I don't know how that's possible. but
Same as the Black Cat. I just said it'll go for what the Black Cat went for.
I figured it'd get to $1 million, and someone would say.
You should say what all of us said, Bill. Do you have the list?
Okay,
of all
you said 720. Nick said 690. Albert said 850, and I said 2.1 million.
Yeah, whoever's farthest away gets -1. That's why I wanted to know.
Oh no, I went with the closest on all of these. Yes. So that we got that one. The next one is the Calvin and Hobbes, and that one went for
blew me away.
480,000.
Holy shamoly.
Nobody got that.
Yeah,
you're not going to believe this. This is the only one that Albert got. He had a guess of 450.
Wow,
everybody else,
Albert.
I was the next closest at 220. So yeah, it went for a lot more than all of us were expecting, except for Albert. Maybe he won it.
Can't look at past sales either, because those were in the 200.
No, you got nothing they base it off of. But
this didn't include any of the. This only had Calvin, not even Hobbes. If you look at.
But this is also painted. Crazy. It's Spaceman Spiff. Everyone loves Spaceman Spiff. I think this is the best one I've seen come up. So I didn't think it was going to go for $500,000, but I thought it should go more than what the other ones went for sure.
Mm-hmm. Right. But what was your guess? So I forget, Dan. 216.
200.
Right. So you were just a little under mine. So yeah, exactly. It seemed like the right spot. But little did we know. Then the one that we were just talking about, the jock cover, finishing at 288. We had Nick. You were at 170 on this one, so you were the highest out of everyone, and that put you as the closest. Albert was next closest at 150.
Well, what did I have it at?
Let's see. You had it at 144.
Dan, you and I are bronze collectors, so we're not going to be.
Yeah, look, I was just guessing.
50%. And you're right down the middle.
The thing about this cover, real quick, is I know people that do not collect original art. They are like comic book influencers. I forget the guy's name, but like his dad started PSA or something. Huge comic silver golden age guys. And for years he told me he was looking for this. So I knew people that do not collect original art that were going for
that wanted this. Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like this really transcended like just this is my favorite piece of Batman art ever. Yes, next. Okay.
I'll just say right now, Mike has 2 victories, Dan has 2, and then Albert, Dino, and Nick all have 1 apiece. So let's see here. Next up was the Mike Zeck. Now Albert said, "Who cares?" on this one. He didn't even throw in a bid on it. This one finished at 264,000, and the closest was actually you, Dan. Even though you were at 360, everyone else was much lower because the next closest was Nick at 125, Mike at 108, Dino at 102, and I stopped at 90. So even though you were over a little under $100,000 more, you were the closest.
That's great, Dan.
That's 3
Things
now.
get crazy with Secret War. Well, look, I was off by 100. We were all off. Let's just say we were all off.
Look, give Dan any miniseries from the 80s, and he's got that peg.
I got a nostalgic soft spot for it, but everybody knows that some Secret Wars pieces have gone for crazy money, and this is one of the better covers.
With X-Men,
they're not all good, This one is. I mean, 300 makes sense. I just thought somebody would come out of left field and take it another 100K.
Mm-hmm. right. Well, there you go. So Dan, you're up 3-2 on the next closest one. Then we have the Captain Marvel cover. And this one went for 288. And let's see, who was our winner on Dino? Dino at 252. Dan was at 384. So
I love this. If I could pick any piece in the whole auction, this would have been it.
The one they get.
And
Dino, I have to tell you, I was at 250. So it was like Price is Right maneuvering here with your 2000 over. This could have been my one victory. I lost it, but I mean, yeah, I agree. This is such a historic piece. I don't know. I was expecting it to be at the 250 level, so it did all right. But there you go. So Dino, now where are you at? You've got you have two victories here. Now the next one, this is an interesting one because it's the Star Wars cover, ended at 144. We have a tie going in both directions. Mike Berkey guessed 132. Dino guessed 156. 12,000 in either direction.
Who was the other one?
Dino at 156.
Dino. Wow.
I just think Darth Vader premium. The last one to sell was 102 for one that just included Luke and Leia and the Death Star. So I figured 50% premium to that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, great cover. Great cover.
So now we have a three-way tie between Dino, Dan, and Mike, all with 3 correct closest guesses. And the last piece that we picked was the Bruce Timm.
Oh, no.
And that was the one that Mike said, who cares on? So he ruled himself out practically with his $15,000 guess.
There's so many other pieces we could have chosen.
Oh, don't blame it on the game.
Don't hate the player, hate the game, Mike.
Jeez. I just said $5,000.
So it was 66,000, and Nick got this one with 69,000. Dan, you were at 72. Albert was 75. I was at 80, and Dino was at 45.5. So there you go. So Nick got this one. So Nick ends up with 2, and we have a 3-way tie for first place. There is no trophy, gentlemen. Congrats.
By the way, Mike, James Siegel would like to know if you have any Mad Love pages that you'll sell for $5,000.
Mad Love? Is that like a TV show?
Yeah. Dating game.
Money?
Yeah. And it was 15.
And this is a second appearance too, so that's pretty impressive price for a second appearance page.
So there were 2 pieces of DC art, and those are the 2 pieces I got closest on.
That's funny.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, Dick, that's your.
Okay, let's get to the auction.
All right, Mike.
Mike
said he didn't win.
I
well,
did.
You sort of did.
No, we have to split 3 hat. We have to cut a little hat in 3 sections.
All right. Well, listen, I think I'm going to queue up Dan. I'm going to queue up yours first, if you're okay with that. All right.
Please.
Let's see here. Let me stop that screen.
Alphabetical by first name.
Amok. What's Amok?
Amok.
Amok. Let's see. And Dan, you started with, that's right. You started with the Star Wars piece.
Everybody hit the thumbs up real quick, please.
Yeah, and the like.
Yes. That's right. First things first. Hit the like buttons, you cowards. Now.
Exactly. We got 86 people watching. We should have 86 thumbs up right now.
I was stunned. Thank you, Bill, for not embarrassing me and reading what my prediction was for this piece, because I must have been way, way off. Look, I think this is one of the top 3 Star Wars covers. You know, you got the Treasury, you've got the cover to 1, and then this. I think it's just the top of the hill. I knew that there was one collector out there who had 1, 2, 3, and 5. And Star Wars has its own fan base. I didn't think there were a ton of Star Wars guys collecting art, but I thought maybe one guy would come out of left field. And with something like this, the Lucas Museum always comes up in rumors. So personally, I thought it was going to go to the moon. I've seen pages from the miniseries, the first few issues, selling north of 75. So I thought that this thing was going to go even higher, but it's the greatest example there is for what this is that you're going to be able to get a hold of, and it's one and done, wall worthy. Great piece.
Bravo.
But is it a Falcon?
I think so.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, you were high. I was happy to have your bid in there, your estimate in there, because where I was double on the famous funnies, you were more than double on the.
I thought this thing was gonna run. My jaw hit the ground. I was like, oh my God, really? But anyway,
I think the limitation was Hoberg, the artist. I mean, he's a great artist, but his market isn't set to kind of deliver a $300,000 cover yet. If it was going to be
it
one,
was
it was that one.
amazing. Oh, but what a special piece. I heard that he actually gave that cover to a friend of his back in the 70s.
As a
And
gift.
it's just been in one place for over 40 years. Anyway, congratulations to the new owner. This Ditko page, it's got to be my favorite Doctor Strange page outside of a good splash or the origin story. It's got everything. He beats Dormammu. This was the long-running saga, just really unheard of at the time for a Marvel comic to take a multi-issue saga. This was the culmination of everything. After ducking Dormammu and for all the hassles, he finally conquers and beats him in one-on-one combat. And it's just brilliant. Even the crappy panel with Clea has him tossing Dormammu like a rag doll. It's just, you couldn't. This is probably my favorite Doctor Strange Ditko page. And congratulations to the owner. I have no idea if 150 is the right price for it, but I've never seen a page that equals it.
Were you a player on this one, Dan?
Oh, not at this level. There was just too much stuff, and you got to really plan ahead of time. I had no idea where this was going to finish. I've seen
This is the highest
Doctor
price
Strange
for a Ditko Strange panel at auction. So it was.
But
you have
splashes
Dormammu,
have
you
gone
Clay,
nuts.
you-
Yeah.
Well, yeah, splashes. Are
I don't know. I like it more
Great
than
page.
most splashes. What's it worth? I don't know, but that's what they paid for it. Good on them. Oh,
Yeah,
I'd be bragging if I bought it. All right. Next. Oh, yes. Watchmen. Now, I'll say this. That fell through the cracks. Now, the thing about Watchmen is it's all about the pages, and you don't have a lot in the way of fight scenes or splashy moments here. It's all about the context, the characters, what's going on, where we are in the story. And I've seen a bunch of Watchmen pages go for, half of what this thing's went for. But when I see a good page come up for sale, it's always in the 100K range or thereabouts. Something like this, it's a good moment. It's storytelling, it's characters, it's action. It's got a little bit of everything. I thought this was going to skew a lot closer to 100 than 50. And I
Isn't
think
there,
that was
Dan,
a big
still a
deal.
line between Rorschach pages and non-Rorschach pages? Is that still valid?
I don't know. I don't see enough of these things come up. I'll just say a lot of the good pages have Rorschach on them. And this is a good page.
And he's in there on at least
He's
for
in
the
there, yeah.
panels.
He's not wearing his hat though. Maybe that had something to do with it. I'm not sure, but I agree. It usually is the Rorschach pages or the comedian pages. You got the comedian in the fifth panel, so yeah, it had all the things right about it. And 60,000. Hey, somebody's probably whoever got it, they're very happy, especially if they own
Congratulations.
more on other ones like in the same caliber. Now this one I know you know a thing or two about.
Oh,
yeah.
Another heritage auction recap and another preacher page that Poddock's got to bring up. This has been so much fun watching this unfold over the last year or so. You started with like the minor covers, nothing really too flashy. Maybe it was more imagery than characters, and those things were going 5, 6K. And then you started getting covers that started looking like something, and those started climbing into the 10s and the 12s. And last auction, we started seeing good covers, Preacher with Tulip, and starting to climb up into the 20s. But even so, I was not prepared to see this thing hit 50. It's a great cover. If you like the character, this was definitely one of the things in the early series that would grab people's attention. But the price is higher than I would come to expect. But this is what happens when you get to the end, when you get to the best examples. If you're dealing with like the top 5, prices get a little wonky. You know, what you consider cover number 5 might be someone else's number 1, and you see results like this. Anyway, always great
I
to
think also
talk
it's an
about.
early cover, number 3, which meant people who are starting the series would read usually the first 4 or 5 issues and then decide whether to go, continue on. And I mean, that helps too for exposure in terms of print runs, right?
Very memorable cover. This would grab people's attention early on in the series for sure.
All right, even NSN, who knows a thing or two about Preacher artwork, says it's the top 5 cover too. So I'm with him on that.
I defer to him. Yeah.
Yeah. Then Bernie Wrightson cult cover. A few people were wondering where this one was going to wind up without having, we don't see Batman's face on it, but.
Yeah, look. You guys in the chat know that we did our picks before it really took off on the CGC threads. But I was reading a lot of people debating. Well, geez, this thing on paper should be worth a lot more. It's Bernie Wrightson. It's a painting. It's Batman. The interior pages sell for decent money. The cover should be at this level. And then other people are like, well, if you're collecting Bernie Wrightson, do you really want a manhole cover with a cowl? My personal take on it is being old enough to remember collecting comics in the 80s. I remember this being a poster in my local comic book shop. I think this image was everywhere for a little while at the time. And based on the nostalgia and the characters and the artist, I thought this thing would have been closer to 50, but I really had no confidence in knowing where it would go. I just knew when it closed that it looked cheap. It's
Nick,
a one
you're
and done.
Nick's a resident DC expert, so where were you thinking it was going to end up, Nick?
I thought it was going to end up at 50 to 60. I think whoever got this got a deal. I think a lot of people looked at it and said, this is just Batman's hand and cape and a bunch of blood on the floor, and we're just dismissed it. They just were like, now if I'm going to get something from the cult, it's got to be something where I'm seeing Batman, and people just dismiss it. So whoever got this, I think got a good deal. And in a couple of years, if and when they're ready to sell it, they're going to have a lot of upside.
The Splash actually sold for like $18.5 or something a few years ago. So, I mean, a cover going less than twice the Splash, that's pretty good value, I think.
Yep. You haven't read it, Stingray? You got to read it. It's good.
Mm.
Oh, this is
now
good.
For a big, juicy, vintage McFarlane Hulk. This seemed very cheap, and I had not put this on my Target site. I almost won it. This was just one of those things where it was going and it looked like it was stalling in the teens. And look, I had other targets. I was going after other stuff, but you can't compare McFarlane's Spider-Man market to anything else. They're different buyers doing different things, but there's a hierarchy of quality of image within the Hulk realm. You'd have to find a cover to get something better. I thought this was a great deal and a great example. If I were more of a McFarlane guy, I would have, girded my loins and pulled this thing in. It's great for what it is. And for the record, I kind of liked McFarlane on the Hulk just as much as Spider-Man. The writing was more consistent. Don't kill
I
me.
would agree with you there. The only thing is he had different inkers on Hulk, but I still thought it looked good compared to Spider-Man.
And that's Mike Berkey saying it, guys. That's Mike Berkey backing me up.
That's a great one.
Berkey.
McFarlane is great. What can you say? I thought about bidding on this too, but I said other things to go after.
All right. Well, somebody got a good deal there. Then next up.
I have no idea if this is a good deal or not. I just know that I loved when Mad Magazine went into the superhero stuff. I love the stuff that Sergio Aragones used to do when he would get Spider-Man up in the margin art and doing his little stories. And Don Martin's take on the various superheroes was just wonderful. I remember this very well from my youth. It was hilarious. The gag on the bottom still makes me laugh today. The only thing that really held me back on this one was the fact that it's only half of the story. And I feel this weird obligation to hunt down the other half, and I just didn't need the hassle. So I didn't wind up bidding on it. But if we're talking about stuff that we like, I'm going to pull up a Mad Magazine Don Martin Hulk story.
Might be the first Don Martin I think we've checked out in a recap. Thank you, Dan.
I got to ask Tom something real quick. Is that the one that was in Philadelphia, Tom, where Todd came out in boxing trunks and no shirt? If that's the one, that was funny.
I have not seen that.
You'll never unsee it.
Take next door.
Fair enough. And here is a lot that I really didn't notice until it actually came live. You know, I didn't give it anywhere near the time or attention that it deserved to figure out if I should bid on it or not. But, you know, this is one of those pages that it's not deficient in any area. The art is very solid by Maurice Severin. This is the end of the Tales to Astonish run. It becomes Hulk in the next issue. It's not a first, but it is a last. And
I always call this issue Hulk Zero.
Well, look, it doesn't have a big splashy battle, but it's a great establishing scene. You've got a wonderful Hulk procession. You've got arriving into Asgard. This thing would stand very nicely on its own,
Right.
hung up
Good
on
Rainbow
somebody's
Bridge.
wall. And
It's a great piece.
for under $5,000.
To me, that went for half value. To me, that's a 10 grand.
I agree with Mike 100%.
I feel that's a 10 grand page. I forgot to bid on it.
Yeah.
Hey
guys,
I would say 8 to 10 grand, but
it was a 5K jewel. It was good.
Yeah,
Nice.
It's
It's great to get something at $5,000.
For what it's worth, the Hulk 102 spot. Now it's a huge Hulk falling off the Rainbow Bridge. Years ago, I paid, I think, $40 or $50,000 for the page one splashed Hulk 102. So
yeah, this doesn't seem like too much. Yeah.
It's funny, I went through the whole set once or twice, and I don't remember seeing this piece at all.
I didn't notice it until it was bidding time. Until it actually. That's what kind of auction this was.
Yeah.
You know?
Look, getting a beautiful Silver Age Maurice Severin Hulk is just. I mean that it's a dream for any Hulk creator.
68, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I'll say it one last time. Whoever got this got a really great deal, and it's a beautiful page. So congrats to the winner.
Yeah. Well, that's it for Poddock's Bargain Corner. So whoever's next, Bill, I yield the floor.
I'm going to switch over to Dino on this one. So let me hide that one.
Alphabetical order by first name.
So I
how
picked
we're gonna
all
do
the
it.
ones that some selections I targeted, not necessarily in my wheelhouse, but just it showcases the breadth of this auction and some unique pieces that came in. I was started obviously with something. This is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is global popular, the #1 issue, 4th printing, by Eastman and Laird. Rarely do you see, you see some of the covers come up and they're later on, the painted covers in the 4 and 5 just sold, but to get a #1 cover, even though it's a 4th printing, you have Shredder, you have all 4 ninjas in action, you kind of have that ninja battle scene. I thought this was one of the coolest pieces in the auction. I definitely pegged it as over 125, but getting to 156, no surprise there. It's outstanding. And this would be a museum wall-worthy kind of brag to your friends type of piece, just because they're so rare. And I actually think it's a lot of staying power. I mean, it's a franchise that has certainly held its own through comics and video games and movies and I thought this was pretty cool to have it in an auction. And it wasn't even featured in in the preview that was just recently. So I thought I'd highlight it here. So, but great piece. I just thought it was well deserved to get some recognition.
Turtles will always be popular. I can't tell you if this was a great price or not, but it feels like a fair enough price.
Yeah, I've never done any research on it, but solid price.
It still came out in '85, huh?
Yeah, it's right the year
So
after
you're
the
telling me they did 4 different covers within a year of the first issue.
Because they had to keep
remember the first
reprinting.
print runs were like 7,000 or something.
Yeah,
Right. But you'd think they would just use the same cover. That's interesting.
No, Eastman did this. Eastman and Laird did this one. So
I know
again,
that was smart on their part. Yeah.
Which is really cool.
You gotta remember, back then in this time period, there were very few books that went back to press. I mean, the most famous book outside of Turtles that went back to press was Lone Wolf and Cub from First Comics.
I remember that one.
And that they kept the same cover. I think Eastman and Laird had the foresight of saying, if we're going to a new printing, it's a collectible, let's give the fans more value. And that's why they kept doing new covers.
And this was around the age where people would collect all the variant covers. But also, this is also a wraparound. So the number one issue is the original printing was iconic, obviously, but it was just a single cover. This is a wraparound with just all the bells and whistles. Anyway, great piece.
Actually, Mars the Bear probably did get a second print. I just don't remember if it got a different cover.
This second one, I was surprised to see it in it. So this is an Alex Schomburg, and those Golden Age collectors know that his art is, or his timely art with Human Torch and Captain America is just non-existent. I think Halperin as a cover, the only one that came to market. And this was actually an Invaders annual where he got to paint, I think he drew the entire book, and this is the splash. You got a classic figure of
I think he just did one chapter of like 6-7 pages.
Or maybe, but you have Human Torch in that. He looks just out like he's out of the 40s. Just a wonderful image. And all the detail that Schomburg's known for. Awesome. 50 grand. So some of his Overstreet price guide covers have gone 66 to 75, and those are painted. But that was several years ago. Nothing Schomburg has hit the market really like this in over a decade. The other Schomburg piece, I don't know if anyone ever saw it, but it was a sci-fi piece with Star Wars, Star Trek, and Wookiees and things like that. It wasn't buried in the other auction, but this was. I thought who's hunting for a Schomburg original art. I mean, these things are as rare as Calvin and Hobbes in terms of the number of pieces out in the market. So.
I will tell you that this was my favorite piece in the auction. Schomburg is a bucket list artist for me, especially on the Invaders. So one day, not today, but one day, I hope to get one.
Nope,
I'm not surprised by the price. It wouldn't have surprised me if it sold for more. Like Dino said, there's not a lot out there. I have found a few Schomburg pieces in people's private collections, and those are tucked in very far in the closet. And I do see a lot of reproductions and recreations. For the longest time, they weren't worth a lot, except for the Schomburgs. There was never enough Schomburg art to go around. Anything that he touched and drew, much less something that was published, is really something to behold. And it's a great page, really takes you back.
I mean, the splash, I mean, it's gorgeous. So congrats to the winner. You've got something. I mean, all original art is rare because it's all one of a kind, but man, this really does stand
on this
out.
one. The buyer got a great piece.
Great.
And you won't see another thing like this in another 10 years, I think. So
yeah,
hang on to it. Pachalo. This is a high cost of living splash. Love the image. I mean, there's very few of his high cost of living pages come to market. I think there's been a couple of panel pages, and those have like 11 panels, so they're really small. So here's a gorgeous image. This actually floated around. It was offered for sale by the owner. I remember 6 years ago, 5 years ago maybe, and it didn't sell. He actually got the owner actually got more here. I just thought this was a great one. I like the hand-drawn borders around all the high cost of living pages, and the text is pretty cool too. If you read it, she's talking. It's a story about kind of life and kind of the meaning of everything, which is kind of neat. So I had my eye on this one. I just didn't know really how far it would take it, and once it got to a little higher than I was comfortable with, I was just there to watch the show. But yeah, I mean, Machado is well-deserved, recognized artist, but this is his probably most beside the X-Men pieces, this is probably his most followed work. And to get a splash of one of the 4 issues or 5 issues that he did, great piece.
And it's honestly just a quiet page. I mean, she's just walking in with civilians. She's not doing anything, no real action, but it is just beautiful. It is absolutely drop dead beautiful. So
and I love how he made the death stands out black on white, like all the background, everything, even the figure in the front is done in a very white shade so that she stands out. So from a eye-catching, piece, it really stands out, pops.
No, absolutely. Look, she was a goth girl her skin was white, and then you hit it. The contrast is there. Black outfit over it, but everybody else light colors, and it even with all the lettering, even with everything over her head, she just perfectly stands out. And Mark Buckingham inking Bachalo, not a team you would normally think of together. But they were magic on this series. They really
and I played a game here. I'll admit that I consigned the Bachalo Sandman page, which was one preceding it. And my thought was, okay, I'll sell the death page. I mean, I'll sell the Sandman page and get the death. But this was too big of a gap, and I decided to pull out late. But I was hoping for some magic there, but it didn't work my way.
Sorry, Dino.
That's all right.
I
There's
forgot
another signature auction right around the corner.
Did Ghost Rider 2099.
Yeah. So this was an important one for me to follow. I own the Marvel Treasury 3 cover. It's one of my favorite pieces. It's the Thor Marvel Treasury 3 Ramita cover. And I wanted to get the back cover because of the image, got a little transformation, kind of pseudo transformation, but it would be great to pair, like to frame it together, because I never really knew how to. I mean, I never had it framed, and I thought it would be a great thing. And I had some tracking bids. I went in live when those got outbid, and I kind of pushed it up a little bit. I'd shared with Fish what my limit was being. I even went a little bit above that, but I didn't want to chase it. First of all, because I've kind of been front cover focused lately, and for me to kick up for a back cover.
Dino, was the front cover also on vellum?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I said because I own the numbers 1 and 2 and 8. For whatever reason, John did all of them on vellum always. Yeah.
Well, he could get I was told he can get a finer.
No, he told me the reason, like all his Spider Super Stories covers except 1 are on vellum, and John made a good point. He says everybody always asks why vellum. He says the ink dried twice as fast, so you can get twice as fine a line without it smudging. Made sense to me.
That's what I read. Yeah. But again, great piece. I commend the person who got it. If you ever want to pair it with the front cover, you know where you can reach me. But again, I watched it. I thought I may be able to pair it, but you know what? At the end of the day, I'm happy with what I have, and I'm sure the buyer is going to be thrilled to get this one. It's actually a little oversized too. It's wider than it is a normal comic page, so it really stands out on the wall.
And his phone number is 1-800-FALCON-DINO.
Oh boy! So this was some style guide stuff, right?
Yeah. So we had a couple of years a while ago where the Garcia Lopez, who did a lot of the DC style guides, did Superman, Batman. This was unique, I thought, because he gets the Teen Titans, and the imagery is just so pronounced in the kind of Perez style, and this is what you'd see kind of on one of those omnibus covers. Great image of Starfire. Just everything's well proportioned. And historically, these style guides have gone from, 4,000 to 10,000 to 12,000, I guess. Some of the big double page ones that he did back when he did kind of several images. So this definitely deserved to blow out of the water. It's just got everything you'd want in a Teen Titans, and it was important, I think, because he set the tone for kind of how these are drawn. He actually did, I think, drew one of the covers, if I recall, in the series. But this was his chance to really showcase what he can do on the Teen Titans. I think maybe this was his first attempt really to do it, but it was just an incredible piece, and again, a high watermark for any style guide produced by him.
I've seen some style guide art go for real money. I remember there was some Batman stuff from years and years ago, the Joker, but I remember seeing that on merchandise. I never saw this stuff anywhere except at this auction. So when I saw this thing flirting with 20, my thought was, are you kidding me? That's what these things are?
Yeah. What these do, they were published in a 3-ring binder. And they were delivered to artists who were picking up a character for the first time, and they would be able to flip through. And Luis Garcia Lopez was kind of the DC kind of standard bearer for the type of, very easy to transfer that knowledge to another artist. So these things were just given internally to help new artists acclimate to their new characters. Anyway,
that and also for merchandise, they would send like the toy companies and everybody else
board games.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't remember seeing this on toys or T-shirts or any. Maybe it was on stuff and I just don't remember it. It's just I didn't ever make that connection. I never got the context of the piece.
If I didn't have that Perez thing I got from you, Dan, I would have probably gone for this one.
What, dude? You sell it back to me. I make an offer. I missed that one.
Somebody's got a little buyer's remorse or seller's remorse, right? That's yeah. Well, Dan.
But congrats to the buyer on this one.
Yeah, it's a cool piece. Definitely is.
Very cool piece. It started really low at auction, then it just went boom.
And then bang! It was a 1,000.
Yeah, I think it opened at like $2,000. I'm going like, oh man, no way is that gonna fall through.
Yeah.
All right, now Kirby Thor.
Okay, so I did this for you, Bill. This is one of the rare panels where you actually have him say, look at the bottom panel, Thor says the nay in bold letters. I mean, that's great. And then you have him punching out a 4-panel action page by Kirby is defines his style on the series in my mind. He's able to capture action, but having a Thor says the nay is just icing on the cake, Bill. I thought you'd appreciate this.
Mike found the right panel there. That's good. Yeah, no, I like this one a lot. It was from 163, and this is about what the average Kirby pages go for now, right? Around 11.
Oh yeah, and if you
9 and 12 is right.
Get the bonus.
Yeah. It wasn't expensive.
And he talks in third person. In the top, he says, so be it. And then he says, it's just all about him kind of peacocking and showing his power, which is so cool. And then he says, Thor says the nay. That's money panel. Anyway, cool.
That is a good one. Thank you, Dino. Not one. I didn't bid on that one.
Yeah, in the same vein, this is a unique one. So this is Butch Guice, may R.I. rest in peace. He passed away, I think, a year ago or this past year. But this was a splash page, one of the rare ones where you have 2 catchphrases. You have the Human Torch flame on and clobbering time with the Thing. I can only think of a handful of maybe 5 or 6 pages I've ever seen with both catchphrases on the same page. And this was a splash. So I just thought, hey, this is a cool one. If you ever want a page that represents the, you have Mr. Fantastic stretching, and then you have the movie coming out. So it was a good page, and for 6,000, just like the other one. I mean, you get a lot of good comic art for that.
It sounds like Tom did not win that one.
And you got the Kirby feel here, which is rare from Butch Guice.
That's right.
All right, then one more. You picked a David Mack Wolverine variant cover.
So I love David Mack. I have one of his the one that the woman assassin, very similar colors, but this was interesting. This is from his Wolverine and the X-Men, the variant cover. Just it's almost abstract, but you get the whole imagery of Wolverine, claws out, He does a very delicate paint. He uses actually gold in his, all the yellow comes from a paint that he actually blends gold in it, which is kind of cool. So anyway, for 3,200, I thought this was a pretty unique piece, the #1 cover from an artist that you don't see, very often, I guess.
I felt like this one cheap. I mean, I know his Daredevil art goes for more money than anything else.
Much more.
But this just felt cheap. It felt like it should have went for $6,000 to $8,000. So whoever won it, congratulations. Even if I'm wrong on the valuation, it's drop dead gorgeous.
Very nice. Well,
Agree
Dino,
with
that
that.
was the last one.
And the theory, I think the expectation is Wolverine comes back to the big screen in his blue and yellow costume, like with the new character, wherever replaces
his
Hugh
yellow
Jackman.
pants are beautiful.
That's right. But those are my picks. I really enjoyed watching them, and glad to share
It's a
them.
cool cover. Definitely worth way more than what it went for, in my opinion.
So did all of you manage to get through the, all the way through the end on Sunday, or was there a point where you guys just dropped off?
Oh, come on. Nobody
11
stayed through the whole
hours.
thing.
Holy Toledo.
Come on.
8 hours
I
in,
hopped
we
in
were
and out.
just getting the R's.
I know. I couldn't watch all on Sunday. I'd pop in and watch for about 20 minutes and then go away. But it just, you knew it was going to take all night. So, yeah.
There was one piece I was curious to see what it went, and it was the Adam Hughes Red Sonja.
Oh,
and
painted piece, yeah.
The painted piece, and
That
it
was
was
one of your
after.
covers?
It was, but they didn't highlight that part. They were
Oh.
like Red Sonja image, and then said used eventually for RRP cover. And it's like, no, this was actually drawn for the cover, and then we turned it into a statue. So I don't think I picked it, but whoever got that, congrats, you got a steal. I think it went for like 7,500 plus juice, but I can't remember.
James. Yeah, James. And we're probably in the right sense now.
Hit that thumbs up, everybody. 100 people watching, only 53 likes. Come on.
You guys can do better than that. Well, we're switching over to Mike now.
What?
Yeah, it's going over to you, man. You picked a piece I bid on too, not this one.
This was just insane to me.
Amazing.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, I do not get this page at all. This one threw me for a loop-de-loop.
So 216. This is from Spider-Man 11.
Thoughts, Mike? Why do you think it blew up? I mean, what do you think?
Because of the panel on the bottom right. But I want to tell Bill, you'll love hearing this. I want to tell a funny story.
Oh no.
So
I'm ready to mute. I got my finger on, ready to push the mute.
I actually was gonna post this on the CGC AWA board, but anyway, and somehow it didn't go through. Somebody was mentioning about Rick Magyar inking this, and anyway, so 1992, I go to a local comic show in Akron, Ohio, and I'm sitting there walking around, and I see Rick Magyar sitting there, and he has like 20 McFarlane Amazing Spider-Man pages. And honestly, I thought I was in like a Twilight Zone episode going like, how is this possible? And he told me the story on how Todd McFarlane needed him to help ink 1 or 2 issues of Spider-Man, and he gave him all the pages. And I'm just going like, I cannot believe I'm here in Akron, Ohio, looking at a stack of McFarlane Spider-Man pages.
How many did you buy while you were there?
I bought like 4 or 5 from him, but we became close friends, and I bought a bunch of them from him over the course of the year. I bought, I think, all of them. Because I worked at the hospital, and he lived like 5 minutes from the hospital I worked at. So,
what were you paying? What did you pay at the show? Out of curiosity.
No, all the pages were like $300 to $400. But in '92, that's actually like a lot. That's the same price I was paying for the Spider-Man pages. Yeah. So anyway, but this is from that era. I might have even known this page. I don't even know if that was in there. But I do know that he had almost all the pages. Was Wolverine in issue 11? Because he had all pages with Spider-Man or Wolverine on them all. So
Wolverine was in 10 or 11, yeah.
Yeah, he had all pages with a lot of Wolverine on them. So, but anyway, and this might have even been one that I bought from him. I don't even know. But it was just amazing to hear the story because the comic books never denoted it until the internet. Nobody knew Magyar inked McFarlane on those books. until the internet, and because it was
Nice.
just said all Todd McFarlane art. So it was just astonishing to me at the time.
From $400 to $216,000.
Wow.
Bravo.
Well, that's certainly a record for an interior with panels, but great image on the bottom right. But wow.
Yeah, it's an interior, but it is a splash. I mean,
No, it's a splashy page without question. But still, even that, I would have said,
I mean,
okay,
wow.
50, 60 maybe.
Nothing
Wow.
explains the result.
Yeah.
Listen, if Ramita Man can't understand why this
No.
is so expensive,
Fine.
don't ask me to explain it to you.
No.
If he says it's expensive.
You just had two guys that had to have it, and one got it and one didn't.
All right, I'm going to be Albert and Scream next. All right, what do we got here? We got an Al Milgram cover from Incredible Hulk, and I know you know a thing or two about Hulk covers too, Mike.
Yeah, I was trying hard for this one, and I did not get it. Somebody outbid me. I thought I'd be able to get it, but I just couldn't warrant paying over 50 G's for a Milgram cover and of that. So I loved it. Awesome image, but it's towards the end of where I collect, so I had to let it go. But I was just great image, but inked by Steve Mitchell. Not that that's bad, but I just thought it was a hefty price to pay for a later in the run cover. That was all.
You know, the title looks a bit like not hand drawn. That The Incredible looks like it's hand drawn and not the
really?
Marvel
Yeah,
stock, right? And the Hulk actually is different than the covers of that run. I mean, the other ones that it looks like it could be hand drawn.
How close did you come, Mike?
Are awesome on that one.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hey, Mike, how close did you come on that? Were you the
I was
underbidder?
the underbidder.
Oh.
I think I bid 38, and then they went 40, and I said I'm not going 42. So because 42 would have been 50 plus. Yeah,
that's a big image of Hulk, though. So
cup bid, Mike. Use your cup bid.
Yeah, Mike.
I probably did. I don't know. But whatever it was, I just said nope. I'm at my. There's too many pieces in this auction. I can't be overspending, even though I liked it. But I got some other Hulk covers I liked in this auction, so I was okay.
Congrats, Michael.
Yeah.
So you were outbid. And wait, here it is, right here. Outbid. There you go.
There it is. I was.
All right, next up, Joe Shuster cover recreation to Action Comics 1/1 for 30.
Now this is a smaller one. I was actually surprised at how high this went. But how many times are you going to see an Action 1 by Joe Shuster? You know.
This was probably my second or third favorite piece in the auction because of how unique.
I thought it was pretty cool. Just for the record, people know they're putting the July 12th, the night of my fireworks party in downtown Cleveland. They're unveiling the Superman statue in downtown Cleveland with the whole Siegel and Schuster Society.
Oh wow!
I got invited to it, but I'm having my big fireworks shindig on Saturday, July 12th. But the next week they're unveiling this. They're doing the party that night, but the next week is the statue, and they're getting a preview of the movie and blah blah blah. But so sort of cool. But I just thought it was cool. I thought it went for higher than I expected, just because it's a smaller piece. But still, the creator of superhero comics, right there. You know,
good timing, right before the Superman movie.
Exactly. What great.
Yeah.
Recreations are almost impossible to handicap ahead of time.
Right.
You see them go all over the place. Correct. Just look at the Hulk 181 covers that have been coming up recently.
And most of the ones you see from Schuster are him, just Superman and kind of his pose.
Right. Well, just
waist up.
The actual cover. Yeah.
This is kind of cool to get the cover image.
Yeah. It could have been 10. It could have been 50. I had no idea where to peg it.
But again, it started like at $3,000 and just kept going boom, 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 boom. You know.
And Kazmer just pointed out too. I've never even noticed this on a listing before. This is.
I just thought it was just a cool piece of history by the father.
The underbidder wants it ahead. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well. Now let's see. Next up, what do we got? We have a Defenders cover from Hannigan and Sinnott.
This is beautiful.
That got your name all over. You won that one, didn't you, Mike?
Believe it or not, I did not. It's the second time. It's a hand. Wow. Believe it or not, I know I'm almost ashamed to say this was the first comic I ever bought off the stands to.
What? And you didn't go hard? I can't believe it.
Because I didn't want to pay over 40. I said I am not paying over 40, no matter what. I'm not paying over 40. And the next bid was over 40. I was the underbidder on it. This is the second time it came up for auction.
If the winner is watching this right now, go to Mike's website and find something that you want.
No, I really wanted. I believe it went higher only because Mixed Marvel's on it, but I liked it because of the Hulk. But yeah.
No, it's a great cover. It's great.
It's fantastic.
No, I actually bought the 2 other Defenders covers with Hulk on it in this auction, but I didn't get this one.
Yeah, the other one had a bigger Hulk, right? You got that one.
I like the other one more. Yeah.
So a good price on this one. And I did see, I missed it when Noel posted it, but Noel Daniels was the one who got the Schuster recreation there in the chat.
Oh, he did.
Oh, congratulations.
Congrats, Noel.
Yeah, Noel, that's a great piece of history.
All right, now here's the one that I had bid on. See, it even says I bid on this one, but I was outbid. $26,000 for a Werner Roth. I'm not talking about Werner Roth anymore. You know, he was my number 5 X-Men artist.
Yeah. Well, the reason I did because of the price, man. Listen, there was probably, I would say, from 2007 to 2017, Werner Roth was probably the most
affordable.
The most affordable superhero art you could get in the 60s from Marvel of superheroes. Werner Roth was the best stuff. I mean, pages like this, you know, just 5 years ago, you know, I'd have probably had like $5 or $6 grand on this max, and now it's just changed. The Werner Roth market is just nuts now. Yeah. Even his small art stuff, I see I'm going, whoa. But I used to have him, you know, I have tons of pages in the.
This is a great page. I mean, it's early, but still, I mean, I don't
know. I still have a feeling in my bones that this thing might be an outlier. I wouldn't be so quick to.
Oh, I know Magneto. You're right, but
I agree 100% with Dan. This is an outlier.
Oh no, I'm not saying. Hang on a second. I'm not saying that average prices are 25 grand. It's because of Magneto. But my point was, even up until a couple of years ago, decent pages were 5 to 7 grand. I think decent pages now are probably 12 to 15 grand. That's all.
They're still down there, man. They're still in that 5 to 6 range, and those are on good ones. You know, but I think this one was because it was Magneto and it was issue 18, so it's an early, you know, run from that run. But if you go up into the 20s and 30s, those pages are all 3 to 6 all day long. It's just I haven't seen a nice page this early on by Roth in a long time. And even though the X-Men are all knocked out in the first panel, I didn't care. I was like, I liked it because of the Magneto, and heck, he's lifting up the mansion. I mean, that was just a good page.
Wow.
So there you go. We won't talk about. We're gonna end up talking more about the Roth than anything else. So we'll move on from there.
Yep, next.
Strong price for that one.
This one, I just thought one of the. How do you get a much better Kirby Cap image than that?
Yeah, what a wonderful image. And it's Kirby on Cap and in action. Brilliant. You can remember the one that sold for 600,000 like a few months. I mean, that was a twice up page, but you know, that's the kind of impact image you get on this splash.
I mean, don't you think it's pretty hard to find a better image of Cap on a splash, right?
At that price point, for sure. You know?
Yeah.
That fell through the cracks, definitely.
It's a beaut.
Yeah, I won it.
22. Oh, you got that one?
Congratulations.
Right.
Congratulations, Mike.
I said I only buy stuff that falls through the cracks, and that was one of them.
Yep, you did well.
I honestly thought this would go for 30 to 40, and I can't believe I got it for 18 plus the juice or whatever. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, 35 made sense. That's what I would have.
I can't believe it. Yeah, a shot.
Nice one, Mike.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing Casper just said. I don't recall Dan Green inking Kirby, right? But there you go. We got it right here. Let's see. New Mutants.
I just wanted to give a shout out to the color guides. Boy, how about that, huh?
Yeah, that was insane.
Wow. I just think good. My whole point is good. I was shocked. I thought it'd go for 10 maybe, but I'm just saying good color guides, man. They're still one of a kind, and I know I can't lie. I got a bunch from John Romita from the early 70s Marvel, the actual hand drawn covers on cardboard, and I've been holding them for years. And I've just been saying, like, man, one of these days color guides are going to start getting their due on average, and when they do, I'll start selling some of them.
I think this is a kind of gets lifted by the first appearance group,
of
obviously.
Course.
But then if you like this, you really can't find any affordable, cool pieces other than the color guide, because you're not going to get the original cover. And
correct. That's why I said.
So if you want something that really, and so for them, 20 grand, you're getting something that's meaningful.
Agreed.
Great piece.
Just like then I'll even share it because eventually I'll split them up. I thought it was a good price. Like I bought the color guides to the whole Spidey $298 at auction. A year or two ago, I bought a complete Miller Daredevil book with Elektra color guide. I bought a X-Men 132 or 134 burned complete book. I just thought, man, one of these days these things are going to be sought after. And eventually when the art gets so high, I think the color guides, which are still one of a kind, will have some sort of market. Maybe they'll be like, a couple % of the original. I don't know. But they're still part of the process. I think they're cool.
Well,
people that can't afford the original.
It's not a bad point of view if you're going to say compared to the original. I mean, what would the original of this go for? 800, $1 million?
Oh, I think it would for what it is.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think it's worth as much. I think this is worth as much as the first Deadpool, around or maybe 90% of it.
I'll take back this was a crazy price now.
Yeah.
I'll take it back.
So,
but I am going to put my Marvel Age color guide up with the Secret Wars cover soon.
For 18 grand.
Sure.
I don't know about for 18 grand, but I do have the Marvel Age color guide with the first Secret Wars cover. If anybody wants it.
I'm just saying, color guides and color seps. I think they're going to start getting their due with the high cost with art prices getting so high. That's all that.
I've bought one color guide in my entire life, and I think I sold it on one of Bill's comic art, whatever the first shows we did. Put it on there, it was gone. I was like, okay, well, there goes my color guide.
Or it's sort of cool to get color guides if you own the original too. That's sort of cool.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
I got a couple. So here you go. What is this? This was a Thor 244 cover by Buckler and Sinnott.
Buckler, Sinnott, and Ramita redid a couple of heads on there or something like that. I just thought, again, this is one that really, 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 I thought fell through the cracks.
Yeah, that's a beauty.
Yeah, you bought that one, Mike.
I sure did.
Yeah.
And I bought the one right before it, the 215 cover. I thought those two were the greatest buys in the auction, and one other Kirby I bought.
So folks, this is kind of a preview. It's a recap of Heritage, but a preview of Mike's website.
Yeah,
so you can see what's coming up.
That's right.
I just thought, I couldn't believe it. I expected this to go for 35 to 40, and then some gavel, and
it was just 16. It gavelled at 16
plus the juice. I couldn't believe it. And we don't have an image. I wish you had it. The issue before I bought too, the 215. I thought that was one of the greatest Buckler Thor covers ever, and that one went for 20. And I don't get it, but I'm not gonna ask questions.
These all fell through the cracks, so you got some great deals, Mike. Yeah. Congrats.
And I don't know if I posted last. There's one Kirby I bought that I thought I got it for almost half. Oh, that's all mine, Bill?
Yeah, that was the last one, right? Yep, the Buckler was the last
never
one.
mind then. Oh,
well, you were thinking of something else, weren't you?
Well, some Buscema and some Kirbys I thought really went through the cracks because there was so many of them. But that was it.
All right, now we're moving over to Nick's picks.
Before we start, I have one thing to say. Okay. 112 people watching, 63 likes. Come on, guys. Let's rally those likes. Let's get to 80. 17 more likes to 80.
Oh man, that'd be nice. We should be able to break 100 before we're done here. We got one more set to go through. What do we got?
Hey, Bill, just remind everybody, Bill, next Wednesday, me and Bill have our pre-San Diego art show. I got a lot of doozy art next Wednesday, so everybody check out the show next Wednesday if you want to buy any art before I take it.
You get free shipping to San Diego,
There's
right?
Gonna be a lot of doozies next week. Probably between $500,000 and $1 million of great art. I've been putting art nonstop on the website, but all new stuff I decided to hold for Bill next Wednesday.
You get a sales pitch right here, middle of cap update. Thank you, Mike. Yes, it'll be fun.
A lot of Kirby, a lot of Kubert, a lot of John Buscema, Galuda, Ramita, a lot of good stuff next Wednesday.
All right.
And if you like anything he won at this auction, make it offer next week.
2x, it's yours.
Well, Bill, there was one Kirby I bought at auction. I thought I got it for less than half of what it's worth. I almost wish we could put it up, but that's okay.
Well, it's no longer priced at half of what it's worth.
No,
folks.
because somebody nobody bid on it, so I got it for cheap.
Well, that is a hazard on a big auction like that.
No, I said with 900 pieces, you got to be diligent and buy the.
Well, that's why I asked you guys up front how
cracks.
much work, forethought did you have to put into it? Because you had to see stuff that you weren't even going to bid on that you wanted.
None of these I planned to bid on. None of them.
That's the so you just
there live.
You have no, so there you go. Mike has no game plan, goes in and
absolutely no. I don't look at the auction until the day before the auction. That's my rule.
That's actually the same as Albert. Albert is like, yeah, whatever I think is going cheap, I'll go after.
Okay. All right. Well, with that in mind, next.
That's a Mike.
Well, I didn't think this would break $1 million. I think I said like 600,000 or 700,000. I was actually kind of glad to see that it broke $1 million. It deserves it. It's Frazetta. It's Buck Rogers, a character people do associate him with, even with the limited amount of covers he did. And just it's historic to have a Buck Rogers cover, Famous Funnies, break $1 million. So I thought it was worth mentioning.
Yeah, you were at 690 on that one.
Stellar piece.
Like I said, 600 or 700. Yeah,
I liked how Joe said that each of the Famous Funnies covers, Frazetta was trying to show off what he can do with different artistic styles. This was obviously the craft tint, the shading, the space thing, and everyone is different, which is really cool. So this I remember as a comic collector, it was a red cover. It was always desirable and always in demand. Very memorable.
Now, if it had Woman Deering full body, probably went a lot higher. But no, seriously, this is really cool, and I'm glad to see how well it did. Yeah. And congrats to the winner. I mean, I don't know if there's any upside anytime in the near future, but this was a once in a lifetime as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. When was the last time you saw a nicer Frazetta cover illustration come through? It's
right. Well, that's why I said 2 million on my guess, because I thought for sure, having not seen anything quite like this, but conversations afterwards, I think even Kazra mentioned it, like no full frontal female figure, all the figures are small. It's more about the moon and outer space. And like you said, Dan, if we had a full figure, character on here, it probably would have done better. But at $1 million, you got a moon and a spaceship and a one full figure, and I mean it is what it is. But I just I was just thinking it had to go higher because of the scarcity and the rarity, and the age and all that stuff. And
was that drawn craft tint? I guess so, huh?
Yeah, it's like you can see. I mean, it's
see the little ridges on the early little vertical lines.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's incredible.
But how's he breathing in outer space?
He's a spaceman.
You got to read the book.
I'm just messing around. How's the Hulk breathing outer space?
So this one did throw me off. I didn't think it was going to go this high. It is a gorgeous cover. You've got the X-Men. You've got everything you could want. You got Spidey fighting Wolverine. Wolverine claws out, and with that kind of look on Wolverine's face that only Mike Zeck can draw. It's I agree with Dan. This is one of the best covers. You do have a bunch of covers that are not as exciting. So this is, I think, somebody who got it paid a premium, but at the same time, I doubt they're going to sell it anytime soon. So congrats.
It was well timed with the Avengers Secret Wars coming out in a couple of years. The last sale of Secret Wars was the Captain America one. Went for
the
55 grand. Yeah, 55 grand about, I don't know how many years ago, but that's the one that was, I mean, this was 5 times that. So that had Wolverine, but he was really small and a lot of B characters. This is X-Men and Spidey. So,
and I also don't believe that was Zeck. I think that might have been the Leighton cover.
That's right. That was the Leighton cover. You're right.
That matters.
I have a recreation of that one. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Secret Wars cover that I had at one point was I call it the butt shot cover. It's all the heroes flying towards Galactus
and through his legs.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
like, do I really want a butt shot cover? I guess I should have held on to it longer. I shouldn't have let all those butts bother me.
Hey, yeah, to each their own. Yes, you should have
Yeah,
kept it.
but what can you do? But
Mhm. All right, next up, Alex Saviak. Web of Spider-Man 101 cover went for $63,000.
you know what? Maximum Carnage, Clone Saga's back. Everybody loves Carnage. Not that I'm sorry, mixing up the two, but like all the early to mid '90s Spider-Man is popping, and I just thought I think this might be a record for an Alex Saviak cover. And I think that there you go. Stingray just said it. This is a lot of 40-year-olds' childhoods. So it's really really cool. It is one of my favorite Alex Saviak
Yeah.
covers.
Be hard
And
pressed to pick another one that you'd prefer with the Maximum Carnage. And
yeah, I mean, look, and the smile on Carnage's face. I mean, it's up there with when Eric. A lot of people don't think about this. When you look at Venom, it was Eric Larson that gave him the tongue and that crazy smile. And Saviak did something similar here with Carnage, and it's just gorgeous.
It is the highest Saviak cover at 63. The next
by
closest
about 20
is
grand.
cover to Spidey 66 went for 43,000.
Yep.
So yeah, 20,000 over the highest. That's well, but it's a great cover.
Yeah, congrats to the winner. I mean, again, another, in my opinion, once in a lifetime. I don't think whoever won this is going to let it go anytime soon.
Why would
No
you?
butts here. No butts.
I know. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Alex is going to be at OAX next February.
Nice.
Saying, yeah.
Great.
Okay.
This might have been my third or fourth favorite piece in the auction.
It's a fun one, isn't it?
I
It
love that
is.
one.
It
Yeah.
is. I mean, look, you got the creation of the Avengers. You've got the X-Men, the
X-Men
first
right there, yeah.
appearance, a great Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange. I mean, there is
Fantastic
just
Four.
so much going on. The FF,
Spidey.
Spider-Man. I mean,
Well, Spidey 4, Avengers 1, X-Men 2, FF. What is that? FF like 13 or 14, where he's in their hand. Yeah.
And that looks like Strange Tales 114 with Doctor Strange.
yeah.
Yeah.
This
It's
is just
great. It's
incredible.
all keys. It's just
Yeah.
a reprint. If you told me this thing shouldn't run, I'd be like, well, but if you told me this was going to sell for 50, I could still wrap my head around it. I know it's not the 60s. I know this is a reprint, but visually, it's
Stunning.
the early
It's
Marvel
perfectly-
age
it's-
encapsulated in a cover. It's
Yeah.
great.
It's perfectly executed. Absolutely 100%. This is perfect. And I agree with you, with you, Dan. This going for 30,000 is a strong price, but I could have seen it going for as much as 50 or 60
Well,
because it has everything going for it.
well, the key is Spider-Man's on it, so yeah.
There you go.
Of course. And the Hulk.
I love that Spider-Man.
No,
4
but
image,
it's look, it's all three major Marvel teams, and it's some of the baddest villains around, and it's just perfect.
Who drew this again?
Is. Huh?
Pollard.
Oh, this is
Pollard.
Pollard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great cover.
yeah. So congrats to the winner. Another congrats.
Yep.
All right. So we have the Zek Beatty Cap 265 cover went for 50,000.
Now I think this is the second time it's been in Heritage over the last 5 years. So I think the fact that it did a really decent price is cool. But I mean, Kirby, Zek with Captain America, Nick Fury. It's just a really good cover. And I know that I think this is the one Alberto put into the auction. So I was glad to see he did well with it. And it's just nice, I mean, shoot, I will tell you this. In 2017, I had the chance to buy the Captain America cover with Team America, I think, for like 15K. And I sat there. I was like, do I really want to spend $15K? I was like, nah, it's Team America. It's like, maybe I made a little bit of a mistake, but this is a great cover.
I'm with you, Nick. It was still Team America. Don't beat yourself up over it. There are a lot of Zek Captain America covers that you can beat yourself up over for passing. Give yourself a pass on that one.
I'll take it.
No, believe it or not, I had this whole book with cover, and I split it up. I let Hake sell it for me years back. So I used to have this whole book and the cover.
Wow.
And I just checked. It wasn't sold at Heritage. It was sold by a dealer. Yeah, almost to the 5 years ago, 6/30/2020 for $25,000. So
okay,
I sold it before that. Yeah.
Good return.
Yeah. And how do I know that? Because we have dealer market data on CAF. Everybody
from almost every major auction site except one.
Yeah.
That is true. This is dealer market data. This was sold by
dealer market
Glenn,
okay.
by Panel Page back in the day, 5 years ago.
Look at what Goo wrote. You can buy a whole lot of 10-speed bikes for that.
Yes, you could.
I think he's talking about the Team America though.
Probably.
Really? I think it's a reference to the cover.
This surprised the SHIT out of me. An unpublished cover. I get it, Spidey Kingpin, but man, I thought this was a strong price. I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but I thought this was a really strong price.
Unpublished cover, yeah.
I didn't pay any attention to it. I only realized it was unpublished when you just told me now.
Yeah, I thought it was published.
I just assumed if it sold for over 20 grand, that
I was
must have come out
I was
somewhere.
bidding on this, and then I read more, and I go, oop! Thank God I got outbid.
Surprising.
Well, how high did you go,
Very
Mike?
strong.
Out of curiosity.
That's that lack of research thing you were talking about.
Yep,
Mike.
Yep, I know.
So somebody went up to 17.5 for it to get to 21. That's a lot.
Yeah, 17.5. Yeah.
Somebody really wanted it.
Yeah.
Maybe they own the published one too, and they wanted to have bookends. So.
For whatever reason, there's a Kingpin. Kingpin is like Galactus and Surfer these days. Like Kingpin gets an extra bump for whatever reason on a lot of stuff lately.
Yeah, I wonder if when it went to this was on the kind of robo auction side, and when they come up, I bet you couldn't even see it was unpublished because there's so many letters in the description that you probably don't even see unpublished when you're bidding on it.
When they show the title, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well,
you're like,
if you're throwing 20 grand on something, you at least better read the description first. Unless you're Berkey or Albert, in which case,
correct.
Go for it.
Now, is that an odd position for Spidey's legs? It kind of looks really.
It was the 90s. That's just how he looked back then.
Kingpin has a good look, though.
Street level Galactus. Oh my goodness. All right, what do we got here? Two more pieces. So this is a Teen Titans to Deathstroke first appearance page.
So my surprise on this was that it didn't go higher, especially since when it went to the live auction, it barely moved. I think it went from 25 to 26,000 and stopped there. And I was really, really, really surprised. I thought this would have went for over 40 and probably closer to 50. It's historic. It's beautiful. And I will say that, relatively speaking, whoever won this got a deal. I think this fell between the cracks.
I think it went for double what it should have, but go on.
Well, that's okay.
I don't even know. I don't even know how to price it because first appearances are one thing. Early Teen Titans art by Perez is another thing. But it's very interesting because this sold for exactly the same price as the Marvel Saga cover that you just pulled up.
Yeah.
And these two things at the same price, the same era, are so diametrically opposed, where you've got the Teen Titans by this amazing artist, by the title he's known for, with the first appearance of a very notable character, versus a cover that has almost no significance contextually speaking, but shows all the great early Marvel scenes that you'd want to see. And it's a really interesting thought and the chat might want to voice their own opinions. If you get to pick one, which is the one you grab for? The historic thing like this, or the fun thing like the Marvel Saga cover? It's a tough call.
Marcus might be right. I have Perez goggles on, but I will say if I had to have a choice between the two, I would have gone for the Marvel Saga regardless.
What do you say, Mike?
I say that the Marvel's worth more.
Dino?
Yeah, I had Marvels on my watch list.
I
just think there's 10 more pages. There's 10 more pages out of this issue.
All right, fine. I would have said the page, honestly, because I'm not a fan of recreation. Even if it's a published piece.
It ain't a recreation.
It's not a recreation, but it's it's a reimagining of the past on a cover. I mean, I don't know.
I don't even know where to choose. It's like
2-2. I'm choosing not from the idea of like a value standpoint. I mean, and I guess probably because I've always wanted a Perez Titans page, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd still probably lean that way, even if it didn't.
Like I said, I thought it would go to 40 and maybe as high as 50.
Homage montage.
Yeah, and look, you got the Terminator here, Deathstroke. So
is Deathstroke still active in comics now?
Oh sure. Oh yeah, he's like their big villain. He's the Titans' big villain.
That would lean additional value for this.
All right, see, so I'm sticking with mine. I'm going with the interior page. Right. One more piece here, and it was is it surprising? I don't know. Does anything surprise us anymore? $102,000 for a Joe Quesada House of M #1 variant cover. That
for the highest recorded Joe Quesada cover price. I mean, price realized to date. The only other cover that broke 100,000 was the Daredevil #3 cover, but that was an iconic cover where he's over the gargoyle. They reprinted it. They put it on T-shirts. It was in multiple Daredevil. It was in the Daredevil movie, the Daredevil TV series. But for this to be just House of M where Wanda says no more mutants. I mean, I thought this was a whoa price. I mean, it was at 5K before they went live, and it shot up so quickly. I was like, wow. I mean,
amazing. I mean, I was watching the Quesada Superman Eclipso cover.
Yeah,
which went for pennies compared to this.
Oh yeah, it went for 9,500.
Yeah.
Now, I've got one question for guys who were following the storyline and collecting the books. Obviously, this image is very, very strongly associated with the whole storyline. It wouldn't go for anything near that, even with like a nut job coming in and bidding. It wouldn't get up to this if it weren't.
You too.
But it's also a variant cover. Does that mean potentially there's another 7 100K covers, or is it only the Quesada that really should be the big one? Is that the image for this series, or are there 5 others that could take this place if it weren't in your collection?
I think that the other covers are good, but this is the most impactful one. I think this is, and I think that this has been used in a lot of places. But still, considering it started at 5K, I thought it would go for somewhere between 40 and 60 all in. That's where I would have pegged this. So this was definitely to me just exceptional, and American Discord is right. This was the primary advertised piece.
Okay. Well, it makes a little more sense if that's the case.
Yeah.
You know,
I think Marvel may have even given this as a poster that went to comic retailers, because I think they were still doing this back then. So, but I mean, it's a strong price. I mean, I got to tell you, if I were to say the two, I couldn't believe how much they went for prices, it would be this and the Jock cover. And again, I love Joe's art.
Spidey page.
And to me, that was the silly price, but I don't want to hurt anybody.
I didn't even know that was. I got a friend of mine was showing me this, and I go, Who cares about there's flowers falling on this girl? Who cares? I didn't realize it was Wanda.
Well,
and she
somebody
was
really
digging the
cared.
dust or
Yeah.
something.
Well,
I go,
and
there's
it's
flowers
not-
falling on a girl. Who cares about it?
No, it's her skin going in the air because she's calling no more mutants. But all I'll tell you is this: I've got the first drawing, the overlay that David Finch did, where it says no more mutants. Wow. So, but yeah, this is beautiful. Look, I'm a huge Quesada fan, so congrats to the winner. Another one that probably won't leave a collection for a long time.
Probably not.
Chuck Arnold,
who would
yes,
buy
new
it?
millennial collectors.
Yeah, maybe. You never know. But yeah, well, so the thing is, after all this, lots of surprises. You look at the pieces that we were, placing our guesses on. By and large, we were way off. Either far under.
I think it tells you something about a market where things are very expensive, and if you're a comic art collector, particularly those that are just coming into the hobby now, you're going to pick the few things that mean a lot to you and just overpay for them, because that is how you build a collection these days. It's not about, I mean, when you have what Berkey has, you could like look for value, but imagine if you can only have 10 to 15 pieces, you're going to try to, when you see something you like, and particularly something that's very unique, and I mean, the sky's the limit. You just go after it because you won't see it again.
And here's the difference between the original art market and other collectibles right now. Heritage had an FF number 1 9.2. It went for $600,000. Now, I think to a lot of us that sounds like a lot of money, but 3 years ago they had an FF number 1 9.2. It went for 1.5 million. Wow. So comics have dropped. I mean, that's a 60% drop. So comics have dropped, cards have dropped, coins have dropped. Pokemon has not dropped. Okay, Marcus, you're right. Pokemon has not dropped. Bill might also be able to confirm that. Ash still plays a lot of Pokemon. So, but original art has maintained its value and keeps increasing. Look, talking about the jock cover one more time. I know who won the jock cover. I had a conversation with him. Okay, and the words that he told me was, "I hated paying that price, but I
had to have it." Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's the theme these days. And if you're trying to get things, just because you like it, you're going to be outbid by those who are really, really passionate for it.
If it's nostalgic, people want it.
Hey, the average price was like 14, 15K a lot this time around, Bill. It was one of the higher ones.
Yeah.
Hey, that means if you're just picking an average piece from the show, you're going 15K in the whole.
Think about that.
If you're talking about a new collector, Dino, I mean, that's saying a 10 piece. It's true, though. If someone is collecting this stuff and coming in off the street, a 10 piece collection is 150K. If just going by the metric of what was going on at this auction, that's why you've got to shop around, go to OAX, go to all the little places here and there, because it's not cheap, especially if you're going to the big show, these big heritage auctions. The totals are not going down.
Going forward, buy from other dealers and collectors, so you don't have to pay 25% premium going forward, right? Just go to dealers now.
Well, again, not exactly.
Work a deal out with a dealer. Don't have to pay the 25%. Yeah.
Especially those dealers that don't do any research, on an auction before they dive into it.
It's like when Mikey goes to the grocery store and he sees what's on sale and then figures out what he's going to make for dinner. It's
do well, Mike.
Backwards.
Listen,
I'll tell you one thing I messed up by not researching, and it wasn't even mentioned on the show. Probably one of the deals that pissed me off, and I didn't even realize I'm looking at this. Gene Colan, Tales of Suspense 97 splash. I'm going, why is that splash going so high? Went for 37 grand. Here it was the whole story. I would have bought it in a second. I didn't know it was this whole story.
Well,
and the way they said the pictures, I didn't even realize until after it ended, it was the whole story.
Lesson should be learned this evening.
No, I know.
This is why you should start looking more than the day before. Stop looking the day before.
That was the deal, and I missed it. So that was the deal.
There was a piece I wanted to ask Berkey about. There was a Kirby Hulk page twice up with the leader, and the top right panel, I think, was the inspiration for the Green Hulk angry image for the Marvel cartoons.
I used to have that whole story. Just so you know, that whole story is Esposito. Jack didn't touch it, but go on.
Well,
I know that whole story.
But that one
I know
image
that page real well.
was from the cartoons where he's the angry.
Close up of the Hulk.
That's a cool thing.
What did you guys think about the Avengers cover with Jarvis?
I love that one. I thought that was. I mean, you have the image of all the Avengers in the background. It's beautiful. Perez.
Look, it was technically gorgeous. Technically gorgeous, but you know, the vacuum cleaner kills it for me.
Yeah, look, Jarvis is the main focus.
I don't even mind that it's Jarvis.
No,
I don't even mind
I love the
Jarvis.
smile on. There's a smile on Cap and Thor are smiling, and I think it's a very light-hearted cover.
I actually found this to be a memorable cover, just not $72,000 memorable. No, like if this was one of our predictions, I would have put this in the 40K range.
That's what I had. Yeah, I picked this. I wasn't going to show these because we went. We already passed the hour and a half I thought we were going to do. But these are the only three that I picked. Was the Perez this cover. For that reason, I thought it was going to be more like 40 because it's Jarvis with a vacuum cleaner, and then the other two. But it's a cool cover. I mean, come on, I bought it. Off the newsstand when it came out because look, 200 was awesome.
This story is above the Jarvis Ultron story. Okay, this goes before. I'm kidding.
I just wanted to point out two of the regular CAF regulars reached out to me about the Mark Bright Spider-Man versus Wolverine cover,
which is the other one I have. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there it is. This elicits a lot of nostalgia for so many people.
I think this was a good price. I think this was a good price.
Well, not way cheaper than it sold in the past.
I think it kind of went cheap, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, if the interiors have come in over the past few years, I mean, that high point about 14,000 for interior. The cover is pretty singular. It's great image, and just everyone remembers this issue.
Exactly. And for the new collectors, I mean, you get caught up in the auction. The Jock cover was actually available for sale for $100,000. And two people that I know that went for it in the auction and who did go over $100,000 sat there kicking themselves that they didn't buy it when it was $100,000. Because that's the one thing, you know what? And I'm being very sincere when I say this. Working with people like Berkey, like Bashar, Albert, Will, Glenn, you are going to get good art at good values because once you get caught up in the auction, you get that little thing in the back of your head, like, I gotta go one more. And all of a sudden, one more goes from 100,000 to 288,000 plus sales tax.
True.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know where this one was going to end up. I was sort of thinking it was going to go closer to 100,000 just because
I know who won this one, and he's
very memorable storyline. Yeah, for people who are first really getting into comics, it's one of their favorite stories and all that. So but a solid price. And then the other one I picked was just for more for trivia. I didn't pick from X-Men. Picked this one because when I looking at the research for an interior sold at auction by Hellboy interior by Magnolia, this is the highest price for a interior that has publicly sold through whether through a dealer or an auction.
And Seed of Destruction is generally the highest demand.
Exactly.
And this is
so I thought it was worth noting that and I think there were two other pages. Were there two other pages?
Yeah, there were a few Seed of Destruction pages.
There were. There were. And they did well. I think the other two were high 30s.
Yeah, so this was the big one, but they all went strong. All of them across the board.
I mean, that bottom panel is just sensational. I really love that.
Exactly, but it's again, it's cool to see a record broken or a record set for an interior like this because you just never know.
A lot of records broken.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but again, the depth of this thing, it just had a lot of really cool pieces for a lot of different kind of collectors and
a little bit for everyone.
So much really good singular pieces today.
Yep, yeah, I agree.
Great auction.
No more Cyclops
it was a
pieces,
great
Brian.
one.
Sorry. Well, that's because I
whoa, the Werner Roth had Cyclops, guys. Come on, the Werner Roth had Cyclops.
Did. Well, he's complaining that I didn't pick any. That I didn't think we were going to get to me anyway. That's why I stopped at 3. Because I figured out.
You should go first next time, Bill.
We had
all right, I will. Well, B's at the beginning. All right, I will go first the next time we do this. I think the next signature auction is in September.
Yes.
Probably,
Is that right?
Yeah.
So we got a few
Yeah.
months off. But
I won't know till the day before, Bill.
I know you won't, Mike.
Look 2 days
That's exactly
before,
the way
so
we
you
like
can
you.
so you can read the description 2 days before, Mike.
Yes, that Tales of Suspense. I'd have had it, doggone it. Oh, well.
Well, as always, guys, this is a lot of fun doing these. Really, your insights, because
Indeed.
you're in the trenches with all of these, except for Mike. But
And Bill, our big show next Wednesday. Everybody be there or be square.
That's right, Mike.
San Diego preview, all new art. Ooh la la.
With
Heavy
scans.
hitters. Ooh
With
la la.
scans. Just remember that. Start scanning.
Great idea, Dan, for the
yeah, I like
guesses.
doing that.
That was really
Yeah,
cool.
we should try to do something like
It's
this
good to
next
think
time
that.
around.
Yeah, let's
that
do it
was
again.
fun.
Who gets? Well, okay. Here's the thing. We'll set it now. Who's going to pick the 9 pieces that we're going to go after for
we all
Let
decide.
Dan do it again. Let Dan do it again. He did a great job the first
Dan's
time.
idea. Dan, you've been voted in.
I'll do it.
I'll go with
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
All right.
And the
awesome.
next one, whoever wins the most gets.
I got.
the honor.
Wait. You know what? Let's do it like this. Dan picks 8, okay, and then the rest of us pick 1 each.
Okay.
Then we all contribute. Okay, I'm good for that. And I'll think of a trophy of some kind for if we can get a singular victor.
I'm still waiting for my bank, Bill.
Sitting right over there, Mike.
What
Sitting right over there.
You haven't sent it to me yet?
Nope, sitting right there. You won't practice. Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, listen, you guys have a really great holiday tomorrow. Stay safe. Have the weekend is upon us. Everybody should have a nice 3-day relax. What's that?
Don't hold fireworks. Throw them.
No, we don't do fireworks here at the house. So don't do that. But
have a safe and great one.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody's local, my big fireworks party is July 12th. Contact me privately if you live around Ohio and you want to stop out. It's the greatest fireworks show you'll ever see in your life.
Put on by an art dealer in our hobby. I guarantee it.
This is fun, Bill, and
Saturday, July
great
12th.
to chat with Nick and
next
Danny,
Wednesday. Yeah.
Mike.
All right, Dino, Dan, and Mike, and Nick. Thank
Happy
you
4th,
all.
everyone.
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th of July, everybody. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
See you guys.
I see it, Bill. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. And I got Nick on here for a minute. Hey, Nick.
Hey.
So what's going on? We got you got some stuff going on in you got lots of stuff going on.
I got lots of stuff.
I don't even know where to start. That's why I figured I'd turn the floor over to you, and because I know you got some stuff that you wanted to promote that's going on right now related to some of your products, and so fill us in. I've got some links I can share with people while you're talking.
Well, look, guys, it's not a secret. We're going through a lot of stuff with the Diamond bankruptcy. It's been not a benefit show, but thank you, Marcus. I'll navigate through this one way or the other. We had a disappointing ruling from the judge this past Tuesday, where he said he wasn't moving up our case about getting our money, and that's life, He wants to give everybody time to present everything, and it's the wheels of justice work slowly. But we do have a humble bundle where you can buy Disney books, pay what you want. You can read all the digital Disney books. It's fun. Marcus, trust me, I'll get fired before Amy or Rex gets fired. So this is a nice little way to support us and also read some great comics. It's got a good mix. I mean, Lilo and Stitch, Gargoyles. You've got Darkwing Duck. We've got a lot of our Disney villains, from Cruella to Scar, Hades, Maleficent, DuckTales. It's just a really great mix, and it's something that does help. And there's a great charity, a book charity, First Book, which helps, which is a great upside as well. Negaduck and Hercules, and then the other thing that we have that'll be greatly appreciated if anybody can support in addition to this is but I mean, look, this is 49 comics. Pay what you want, and again, we've got a great charity here, and this just this just rocks. It's really, really great. So hopefully you guys can check it out. Bill put the link in the chat right now. And then the other thing that we have is the Pope Leo the 14th trading cards, which kind of feels full circle for me a little bit. It's struggling a little bit. We would have thought we would be at like $20,000 or so by now, but if anybody can support this, it's great. And also, we are part of the Kickstarter pay over time. So if it's something that you need a little bit of time to pay for this, Kickstarter, I think, will give you up to 4 months with 4 equal payments. So it's a really cool trading card set. Look, Tops and Upper Deck did those single cards for $8 or $9 or $10 each, and those at one point were going for like $175 each on eBay. So obviously, you know, the excitement, they're not going for quite that much now, but you know, this is a way of getting a really cool set. You know, lots of Pope action poses.
That's very true. And if you're, yeah, he's from Chicago too, right?
Yep, he's from Chicago, first American Pope.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
So, and yeah, if you guys can check it out, support it, it'll be great. It'll be greatly appreciated. You know, everything helps. I should do a Pope meme coin. God.
Well, we hope for a speedy outcome to all the problems and proceedings there with Diamond for you, of course, Nick.
More likely than not,
fun.
No, it's no fun at all. Look, more likely than not, it's going to go terribly. That's life. And, you know, it'll take me about 6 or 8 months to dig out of this, which is what it is. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, compared to problems that other people in the world have, it's a first world problem. So, you might be able to make me good offers on my art, by the way, if you want to go to my calf. I've taken more offers lately.
I should have thrown a link into your calf gallery.
Sure. Why not?
Well,
Maybe
I
we could.
did link to it in the email that went out today. So anybody, but you know, some people might not know which gallery is yours because it's that Nick, Barry, Hal,
Matt, Hal, Namor. So if you put Namor, all you got to do is put Namor in the Premium Galaxy. I'm the only Namor. It's the one that'll come up right away.
Right. Yeah, you are the only Namor on the page.
Well, Marcus, it's not that they're going to go to Chapter 7 to avoid all debts. The lawyers and the bankruptcy people are charging like $2 million a month, dragging this out, and they're making all the money, which is really frustrating. The whole thing with the Diamond situation is so screwed up because they had a $74 million offer. That actually would have gotten everybody almost whole and the whole thing would be over. And for some reason, and listen, there may be some stuff happening that I can't talk about, but the people who were handling the auction decided that they should go with the second best offer, and it just screwed everything up and really brought the price down, and it's just been a friggin' mess. And thanks, Tariq, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. So you know, it's a mess. You know, I was optimistic in January that everything would be resolved by the middle of May, and the only resolution that ended up happening was that Diamond was sold to Ad Populum, and it's just unbelievable. They're finger pointing. We're told by the old Diamond people and the bankruptcy people, Ad Populum needs to pay us. Ad Populum says the old Diamond people need to pay us. So I mean, this whole weekend, the only thing I'm doing this weekend, I'm going to grab dinner with Pam 2 nights because I'll need to take a break. But all I'm going to be doing is spending my days looking through every piece of correspondence right before the bankruptcy and since the bankruptcy to present to the judge for our case on July 16th. So it is what it is. You know, like I said, compared to some problems other people have, I'll get through this. It's just just something else to dig through.
Exactly. Well, it kept you from OAX last year, so you know, we weren't happy about that, but you know, we understood. So we hope we want it in the past when next February rolls around.
Yeah.
Next, you can be there.
And that was a tough week too, because what we didn't know was going to happen. So OAX, I skipped OAX because of the bankruptcy because I had so much going on, and then Mike died that Friday, which was really bad too. So Stingray, I only got a picture with a cardboard cutout. That was really nice. Honestly, Tom McDonald doing that was really, really cheerful for me. That was really nice seeing the love. I mean, and a lot of people in the industry have been really rallying behind us, which kind of chokes you up a lot. You know, you got Gail Simone and Christos Gage and Amanda Debert and all the, you know, Sweeney Boo and all these creators just asking people to go to our website and to support these initiatives. And, you know, you just sit there and you're really appreciative. I mean, look, it really, really sucked to have to file with the court to say that there was a chance we weren't going to make, we weren't going to make payroll. But then a few friends came through and helped out, and some of the employees have helped out, and you know, we're going to finally start collecting. You know, the worst part is we stuck by Diamond for a while because we wanted them to survive. We wanted them to make it because, you know, look, Penguin Random House is a huge company. They're only going to take huge publishers. Lunar is a great company, but they can only take on so many suppliers. They can't take on too many vendors. And for me, and maybe I was being a little bit too much of an optimist or a purist, but without Diamond, you looked at it and you're like, where's the next Jeff Smith Bone? Where's the next Terry Moore Strangers in Paradise? You know, where are you going to get these? We need Diamond to be able to do it. And then when they stopped paying us again and we were ready to move, right before they caught up, they stopped paying us twice. They caught up both times, but we had actually gotten frustrated about it and we were ready to leave. And then we got a cease and desist that said, listen, we caught up on our payments. You can't leave legally. So I was like, all right, they caught up on their payments. I'm not going to fight this. And then, of course, a week later, they stopped paying again. And we haven't collected any money in 3 months. So it's been rough, but we finally start getting some money in August and we'll get through this. Like I said, I appreciate all the support. Everything helps. But we will get past this, you know. Look, the thing that I'm happiest about was I didn't lay anybody off. You know, I think any other person would have laid people off. And I think that we were getting close this week, but like I said, a few people gave me a shout and said they would help, and I'm fortunate to have friends. I'm very fortunate. So
well, look, we're all, you know, in your corner on this one. We want you to get past it. You don't have a show tomorrow.
So no show tomorrow, but next Friday, we will have a really cool show, including a Bill Sienkiewicz death drawing. So won't go as much as the Chris Baccialo, but it's a beautiful painted Bill Sienkiewicz death. But I took up enough of your time. You and Chris got a show to do. So
I've got a couple of short videos to show too, but yeah, Nick. So we threw the links in the chat for anybody who you know, was interested in supporting the Humble Bundle or the Pope cards that are out there right now, and I think you have a couple weeks left on the Kickstarter. So and you can always reach out to Nick through his calf gallery if you have any thoughts or you want to get those links direct from him as well. Yeah, there you go. So Nick, hey, have a great 4th of July, and try not to think too much about work over the next couple of days. Try.
I have no choice. I'm literally going to spend 3 days going through 6 months. But like I said, look, I'm going to do the one thing, which is me and Pam are going to grab dinner at least 2 nights, if not 3, and just at least spend a little bit of time together. So
good.
It is what it is. So, and look, the moral support really helps. So thank you, everybody. And one last time, please hit that thumbs up. It helps Bill, it helps his algorithm, and it helps the community.
Thank you, Nick. All right. We'll see you. We'll see you again soon. See you next Friday.
Yes.
All right. Take care, man. All right. Well, there you go. So we hit the 2-hour mark here. So yeah, we've got we don't have a lot of time for the CAF update, and I knew we wouldn't, but I do have a couple quick videos that I did want to play. I'm going to have to hold back one. Number one Marvel fan had sent in a flip, but that's going to have to wait till next week. Sorry, Tom. But I do have a couple other ones. Philip LeBon Gallery had the Paul Pope. They have an exhibit going on right now for Paul Pope, and the opening, I believe, was it last week or maybe it was the week of Heroes? But they had sent me several photos from the opening, and they're also advertising on CAF right now for Paul Pope's exhibit. So I thought, you know what, I got to show this set. So for those of you who weren't aware of the Paul Pope exhibit, it is out there, and I should throw a link in the chat while this video is playing. But here, take a look at this. This is from the opening. No video. It's just all photographs, and enjoy. There you go. That was the opening. What was that? Number one Marvel fan said he spied a bunch of millennials. I don't know. Those are the art collectors of today, or maybe the future. I don't know. But yeah, always good. It's hey, we need more galleries like what Philip's been doing over there in New York. So he had the Great Magnolia exhibit from about 6 months ago. So Paul Pope now kind of moves around the narrative arts, as far as like the themes of each of the shows. But it's good to see Paul. I've always loved Paul Pope's work. Can't afford it usually, but it's cool to see it in a gallery setting. Now, I did encourage all of you who bought mystery sketches to do an unboxing. Some of you have done them, and some of you have shared them with us. Others, have put their own ones online. I've got Dan Goodwin coming over here tomorrow, and he's been holding back his mystery sketches and a few other things, and we're going to film. With me, we're going to film an unboxing here on the 4th of July before I do a cookout, and we'll have that for everybody next week. But Nick Forst has put together his own, and many of you might have seen it if you know Nick and you follow him. He posted this socially, but it was too good not to re-show here on the channel. So I asked him if it was okay if he could send it along to me, and he did. He got a very nice Von Randall Batman, and I think if you haven't seen this already, you're going to enjoy it.
Hey CAF community, Nick here. I just wanted to do a short unboxing video of my mystery sketch. So we're just going to take trusty knife and cut this one open. I've already sort of started this so I could get a slight peek inside, but you can usually just do the 3 sides and then crack it open. So, all right, here we go. Here's the best part. Oh, this is terrific. Absolutely wonderful. Wow, Vaughn really killed it with this one. This whole piece is superb. You know, for 1966 Batman, this costume has a lot of particular features. You know, it has the oversized batarang, it's got the markings on the cowl. I absolutely love the shape and form that Vaughn did for the cape here. His bat belt is oversized, which is totally on point with how Adam West and this style of Batman is. This is just incredible. This is probably the most badass Batman you're ever gonna see. Wow, so I really think you can tell there's quite a likeness here. I just want to say thank you to Vaughn, especially. You know, I've got the Cyclops up in the corner from a couple mystery sketch drives ago. I want to give a big thank you to Jiggy, who always goes above and beyond with the customer service and the personalization on everything. I really appreciate it. To the whole Next Comic Art crew, to Bill and everybody at CAF, the mystery sketch drive is one of the most important things that I think the community really bands together to do. It's super fun, it's super interesting. We keep growing with the artists every year, and it's just really incredible. This is definitely going to be one of those hallmark pieces, you know, that really I'm happy to have in my collection. It's an excellent piece. It's the most badass Adam West there probably ever will be, and I'm really, really appreciative. So thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Very, very well done, Nick. Thank you very much. It just shows you what you can do out there when you're, you know, unboxing mystery sketches or unboxing anything. Like you saw Dan say, he's got 17 pieces of art that we're going to be unboxing tomorrow. He's been sitting on them for a few weeks now, very patiently. You know, and I know that's difficult to do, so we should have a lot of fun here tomorrow. But let me bring Mr. Snork in. He is ready and raring to go. Hey, man.
I don't know about raring to go.
How many beers have you had tonight?
No, none.
None. Oh my gosh, what are you waiting for?
I don't know.
I hate to tell you, everything is gray in your office right now. You know, it's like your shirt's gray, your beard's gray, the walls are gray, the art is gray. It's
There's a little color. I like gray, man.
Just today, I don't, you know, I've never noticed that before. But hey, I gotta, you know, Marcus is going to appreciate this. So, yeah, I have been sitting on a piece of art for I guess for a whole week. I've been sitting. It's right next to me. I haven't opened it up, but I was like, screw it, I'm going to open it. So this is something I got from Jason at Essential Sequential it was during Comic Art Live actually, and I was supposed to pick it up at Heroes, but I forgot because I hadn't paid him yet, and then I totally just forgot about that. But the cool thing is, and I didn't know, this is the first piece of art I've ever bought from Essential. It comes with a COA.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
So you knew that. Yes,
I have purchased from Jason.
All right. I had no idea. Pen and inks, dimensions, artist name, title. I'm kind of disappointed the title only is the name of the character. It just says Cyclops on it, but it does say Eric Canetti drew it. So I can show it up right here. There you go.
Look at that.
Got my own Eric Canetti Cyclops.
Canetti's so good.
Isn't that awesome?
Man.
Yeah, I was happy with this one. Did not make it to the show, everybody. When he showed these off, I said, "Can I just, you know, what's the price? I want to buy it," and so I bought it. Yeah, that is great.
Tough.
Oh man, so yes, there you go. I'm happy. See, now I've got my one and done with Canetti. Well, he's going to be at OAX. So he may have something. You never know. That might.
He's one of I think 4 artists that I have 2 pieces from.
I've always liked this stuff.
I love Eric Canetti. Yeah.
Well, you never know. I mean, maybe he. I would assume we'll probably be doing some pre-OAX ops with him too. So, if he's doing like a 2-character or something or other, I could probably come up with a couple of good ideas.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what though? Here's a question for you. You saw what that first appearance of Cable color guide went for, right?
Yeah.
$20,000. What do you think my X-Men 101 first appearance of Phoenix color guide would go for?
Oh my God. Well, so one of the guys made a good point, which is like, if you want something, right, you're not going to get a page. Most of us, right, will not get a page. So if that's the window for color guides, yeah, who knows? I mean, if that's the application for color guides, right? If that's their niche, then, bring it on, I guess.
Yeah. That's what I
told
think.
Catherine he should go out and scoop up colorguidefans.com.
Color guide. CGF.
Yeah.
Why not? But yeah, that's all I was thinking when I was looking at that. I'm thinking, holy smokes. I mean, I got it for a lot less than that. I mean, it was, it was 4 figures, but still, it wasn't, it was very affordable. So yeah, weird. It just made me think.
Wait though.
Oh yeah.
A little bit. When you know that the MCU is about to do Dark Phoenix, that's when you strike.
That's the moment to do it. Yeah. I don't know. I got to keep it for a little while longer. But hey, it reminds me, hang out after the show because I wanted to talk to you about something.
All right,
cool. So we got 50 minutes, but we should probably just dive right into our picks versus going through too much of the CAF update. Unfortunately, I had a couple other. My son made his video clips and everything, but we all know we just had the big heritage recap. That everything was pretty much dominated by that anyway. Other than that, I'm sure everybody who read Colin's market report noted that Felix had 2 big sales because he sold 2 books complete. One was $100,000, and I think the other was 45, something like
44?
that.
Yeah,
44. Yeah, somewhere in there. So dealers did pretty well thanks to Felix's 2 big sales. And outside of that, everything else was pretty normal. However, I will say, that there were a lot of good art to pick from this past week.
Yes.
This current week is already loaded with stuff. I was shocked going through things earlier today. I was like, I want to pick that. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That was Monday. Oh, shoot. That was Tuesday. I'm like, son of a gun.
I like that, though, because then I'm like, okay, it's going to be smooth sailing.
It will be. It'll be a very easy week next week, or maybe not. I mean, because there's so much good stuff that were been posted, and I don't know how did that happen? But boy, everybody's been picking up some bangers in the last 4 to.
I think maybe there was a little bit of like, oh, I got back from Heroes. Well, for me anyway, I can say personally, like it took me a week basically after I got back from Heroes to start thinking like, oh yeah, I got to post some stuff now. So.
Right. Yeah, I did get my Bastion posted. I was happy about that. But and I saw you got your Lonergan posted too.
I got the Lonergan posted, yeah, and my birthday present from Chuck is up there, and yeah.
That reminds me, I got to get Chuck's sketch card. I was really mad at myself last week because I showed off some of the stuff that I got, and the 2 things I didn't show off, one of them was the sketch card that Chuck gave me. Doggone it, where the hell is that? I can't pass that up now. We got to show off Chuck's artwork. Oh man, I'm not going to be able to find it. Oh shoot, nope. I reorganized. I can't find it. I'll post it to CAF. I've scanned it. No, that's the one you got from your gift from Chuck. I'm talking about the sketch card that Chuck drew for me.
Oh man, yeah, you got to show that.
I know. That's why
I can draw.
I know where I put it. Oh, I can't get it out of there right now. Shoot. Anyway, but I will post it to my CAF tomorrow because
Casper do his too.
Yeah, Casper got a nice sketch card as well. That's true. Yeah. I forgot about that. But yes, so I've got a few things to post tomorrow from Heroes. But yeah, why don't we?
Rich is calling us out on our professionalism.
What did I can't find the card?
I watched your show, Rich.
Oh, for God's sakes, man! Now you're making me hit. I'll get it. Hey. I even found a piece of art.
Bill, are you peeing right now?
I did not know this. I forgot that I had an Aranga original. Now Aranga's he's becoming a big name out there in the comic book world, right? I mean, everybody's. Where did I see that? Here, I'll put this link in the chat because I saw this earlier. Thanks to the wonderful gentleman Jason D'Ambrosio. There, I do have your Chuck card. Oh, I'd have to scan it. Wait, yes, I do. I have it with the Rambutan card as well. Yep, I got him here. So but I have an original Aranga I did not know that. I mean, well, I knew it, but I forgot about it. I was trying to reorganize some of my stuff last weekend, and I forgot about this. Johnny McCloskey commissioned, Aranga to do a piece of art for me. And this is when I still lived in Ohio. And this was like I don't even think it was in the back of a portfolio, but this is right when I sold the miniature golf course.
I remember that.
Remember this?
Yep.
So I do have an original Aranga piece,
Yep.
and I should have more than one, but there you go. So thank you, Johnny McCloskey, for this, and thank you, Aranga, for drawing that for me. Yes.
Aranga is like so if you have somebody in your life who also collects art and they need a gift for something, Aranga is the spot.
He is the man. Now,
he's your guy.
See, I was hoping I'd be able to find that darn sketch card from Chuck. See, but I bought, I got my binder, but all I did was I just threw all the sketch cards in it. So they're just, because the one thing I didn't realize, I've been putting them in these, the sleeves. These don't fit. I've actually got, I have the light, like really lighter ones that just barely fit on the card. So I've got to put them all, got to redo them. Oh, I already put Chuck's in here. Well, here, I'll take it out. Let's see. But,
carefully.
Yes, exactly, because I didn't put that one in a bag. There we go.
Look at that. Chuck Arnold can draw. Go full screen, Bill.
Oh, okay, I can do that.
I'm
not zooming in though. Let's see. Here we go. Well, here we'll see how good. Yeah, my camera doesn't autofocus, but there you go. Thank you, Chuck.
Kid's got skills.
Yes, he does. And now I got to reach out to Chuck too. Gwen wants to have that meeting with you, Chuck. So. Yep. So we've got some business to talk about. Here, let me get this back to where we were. There we go. But yeah, there was another piece I got to. But I'll post both those things to CAF tomorrow. It was amazing. All right, let's talk art now.
Let's go. See. We haven't really talked about art all night.
No, we haven't. Oh man, yeah, it's but that you picked up something at the auction. We're not going to say what it is because once you get it, you'll be able to have a nice art day, right?
Yeah, I got a consolation prize, and I spent more than I wanted to on it. But the first thing I went after, I chickened out, and I know damn good and well I could have got it for. To Nick's point, one more, I know in my heart would have got it. But
well, sometimes you gotta. Well, there's just there's so many good things in there. I mean, I get it.
I said last week, I was like, for the first time ever in any heritage auction, I think I had more than a dozen pieces that I was watching. So,
yeah. Well, Marcus says you wanted the Nolan.
No. The Keown Colossus, or what did they even call Colossus when he had Juggernaut's powers? Was he still just Colossus?
Oh, that one. Okay.
So it's Colossus, but he's got the Juggernaut helmet on, and it was a Keown cover, and the thing was in his Future Foundation costume. They were fighting in Russia, it seemed. But like I said, one more bid, I know would have got it. But well, I got a really nice page.
All right. Chuck says, talk about your fun at auction day.
We Patrick Rains and Chuck and Doug Pfluger and I sat on a Zoom meeting and just watched the auction and talk smack and are you going for this? It was really fun. It was like a watch party.
Man, and I wasn't invited.
Well, sorry.
Next time.
Next time. Right. We thought you would unduly influence us.
It's probably better not, but that's cool. People are doing it. I mean, come on, it's fun. Just let me think. Who was James hanging out with during the auction? I mean, he and Khalil were probably FaceTiming each other throughout.
He was probably on his tonal, sweating to the oldies.
Unstoppable Colossus.
Okay, I'll take that, I guess.
I don't know. Juggalos. I don't know.
Juggalos. I like that better.
I should have shared. Stingray, remember when I made a call for, you know, I said I couldn't figure out a good hashtag graphic or font for the well rendered.
Yeah.
If I would have, I should have shown it off because I mean I wouldn't use it, but it was funnier than hell. Stingray gave us one where the W in in well rendered. Did it? What?
Yeah, it was like butt cheeks.
No, it was breasts.
Oh, okay. I thought. Oh, yeah.
Did I show that? I don't think I showed that. I don't know. Did I? I didn't think I did. But
otherwise, how would I have seen it?
I don't know.
There you go.
Maybe it made it. Maybe I don't know. Well, now I'm a little worried. I didn't think I showed that. Sorry. Yep. Let's talk about the artwork here. Where are we at? We got some Steve Rude ink by Royer.
Heroes. Never mind.
Oh, all right. Everyone's always. I showed. Oh, there you go. Thank goodness. Okay. So all right. Well, you know what it looked like. Anyways, let's talk about this Rude Royer piece. What is it from? Is it? So it's okay. So it's a
mini series. Yeah.
Got it. All right.
So it kind of harkens back to what we were talking about, earlier, what everybody was talking about earlier during the about the Marvel Saga cover. This is kind of like an homage montage, right? So you've got some definitely more realistic stuff at the bottom, but there's Steranko elements, there's like surrealism, there's Kirby elements. I thought it was really cool that it's Rude inked by Royer. So it's, got, really like a strong linkage to kind of Kirby himself. So that was really cool, but just these images together, shouldn't make sense. It's kind of got that pop art feel to it, where it does feel like a collage or disparate images that are kind of coming together to make this one image. I love the way that they work the type in. So yeah, I mean, it's what you would expect to see if you got Steve Rude to basically homage Steranko.
Right. Yeah, it's very cool. Now who's calf? Oh, Robert Frey. Cool. Robert's got an interesting calf gallery, that's for sure. Boy, yeah, they really did combine a lot of different genres and approaches on this piece. I wonder what the rest of the book looked like. I mean, this is page 1 to issue 4. Interesting.
And what a cool way to do a title page, right? I mean, it's got the title.
Yeah, exactly. Huh. That's, yeah. I mean, it's, well, yeah, clearly like an overriding Steranko vibe and then throwing all this other stuff into it. Right. I mean, it's from the layout. Yeah, that's cool. The nude in the can't miss her.
Yeah, and the dripping, it's not clocks, it's shields on the tree. Yeah.
All right, that's a good one. So then where do we go from here? Mickey Anamanthadu. What is this? A costume design. You've never picked a costume design before. Is it because it's drawn by Sprouse?
It's because it's Ultra Boy. So Ultra Boy is my favorite Legionnaire. This is when I was really, really a hardcore Legion reader. They actually had, for the first time in I don't know how long, Legion had 2 books coming out at the same time. It was Legion Superheroes, and there was Legionnaires, which is where this costume is from. But, really, I think the first time I really took notice of Chris Sprouse. So yeah, kind of a nostalgia pick, but also I do like the behind the scenes stuff. There's little notations all over this. I do love the Legion. There's little notations all over this about what color this should be and things like that. So I think that piece of it was cool from the process angle. But one of my favorite costumes on my favorite Legionnaire. So
well, it's very cool, and I've always liked Sprouse's stuff. I mean, the inking style. I mean, for me, it harkens back to my gaming days, D&D, Top Secret, all that kind of stuff. That era of. But yeah, no, it's nice. And this is Mickey, man. Mickey just pulled. He could do a weekly flip for the next couple of years and still not get through all of the art that
years.
Oh man, but cool pick there. Now, where do we go from here? YQ. Oh yeah, that's right. This is the yeah, it's awesome. Sean Gordon Murphy. I mean, anything that has a vehicle is always good with him. But I kind of like the fact that he's doing inside and outside, right?
Yep, yeah.
It's just capturing everything that you need to see within this thing is shown all on the board on one board, and it's just poof. It's awesome.
I know he sneaks BB-8 in there. He's looking over Poe's shoulder, but so much movement. Like you already touched on the technology piece. Like he draws technology so well. Mm-hmm. I think it's cool how he did this. Like inset. Really, the scene is an inset, and what you're seeing is going on inside the cockpit. So I thought it was a nice piece of design. A really good way to kind of like tell the story in one image.
Yeah. Yeah, no, very nice. Very nicely done. And this is, let me see here.
Well, you don't see him work on Star Wars much, right?
No. I want to see him do an X-Men book. That would make
I'd like to see him do damn near anything.
Yeah, very true.
Take a break from Batman.
Well, 10 comments. Well, it's a well-viewed piece from last week. All right, next up. Oh man, Marcus got the first comment in on this one from what is it though? Oh, it's the Zealot Seth Adams piece. This thing was awesome.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah. Yeah, the lighting on this thing is crazy. Yes, it does.
Nice. Can see a little bit more what I'm talking about, but I absolutely love. I think the background is like really minimalist, but like so effective. Her pose is so cool. It's like Lethal Fashion Magazine, I guess. It's a very like kind of haute couture like pose, like a runway type of thing, but it's Zealot, right? So, yeah, of course she's beautiful, but like she's got her, twin swords and like her, like the I don't know what you want to call those elements coming off of the back of her costume, but they look like they could kill somebody. The surfaces are so well done here. Like you definitely get the sense of like what things are made of that he's illustrated, down to the reflections on like the chest piece. And then her face is almost done like a teeny bit differently. And that really stands out. Like it's more positive, negative. There's less attention paid to the textures to some extent. He does just go like, the face and the hair is really just kind of like one shape, one element. The eyes and the nose and the lips are kind of dropped in, which I thought was like such a cool way. Like you do really quickly notice her face in spite of everything else that's happening on here. And it's almost due to the like opposite treatment that he applied to it.
Right. Yeah. Just leaving it stark. Yeah, no, it's great. I really like this piece a lot. I would have picked it if you had not gotten this one, it would have been mine.
Well, I'm glad one of us is talking about it because I think it's rad.
Seth Adams. I'm gonna open a search on Seth Adams and see. There's only 12 pieces on CAF.
Ooh, get them while they're young.
Yeah, exactly. Huh. Interesting. Very nice Electra piece out there from a couple years ago, posted to CAF. All right, let me get my like on that one. And next up, look. Grant C, and it's it was funny when I first saw this. I was like, I don't, when did well, anyways, this is Andrew Robinson, and no, but when I first saw it, like something about the pose reminded like Wayshack, right? I mean, because he kind of does the crazy stuff with the anatomy and things, and so
shortening and
right. Yeah. When I saw it as a thumbnail, I was like, wow, that's, I'm like, it's a little too clean, but as a thumbnail, but it was like, it was the first thing I thought of. And then of course I got to the detail and I could tell it wasn't Wayshack, but this is awesome. I love it.
It makes me think his figures make me think a little bit of Kevin Nolan. A lot of them have that like lankiness, like they're lean. The anatomy is a little like stylized, not overly stylized certainly, but like there's an element to it where that they're like playing with things a little bit. Yeah. To your point, the pose is really unique. I really love how he basically just drops out the legs. Like there's a suggestion of like his lower body in this. I think the graphic element of the cape. There's Robinson himself. I'll preach the gospel of Andrew Robinson. If you don't have an Andrew Robinson,
I know you like his work.
In your gallery, get one. Commission him, whatever. I think he is absolutely amazing. So anyway, the way that the cape basically forms the horizon line, I think is so effective and so clever. And then he echoes that same line with that strike through from the heat vision. And then in the back, you get this really like kind of whiffy, you know, like pretty skyline with the clouds. I just think this is such an effective composition, and you know, it looked great with title dress on it, right? Because he left that space for, you know, that's good design. I just, you know, there's so much to love here. The color treatment too is just nuts. I love it.
Yeah, it's really vibrant. Probably is even more vibrant in person, but yeah, I love it too. You know, I love the little lighting effects put on here across the logo, just on the logo and everything.
Oh, he has the published cover. Do you mind clicking on the additional?
Oh, nope, I did not see that.
Yeah, perfect.
Got it down. Nice. Let's see. Now, let's see. Grant C, 10-year veteran of our website. Awesome. Now, next up, see now, you know, Marcus just said that he's not always first, but he's been the first on the last 4 pieces we looked at. Brian Coppola, Globitz, Charles Globitz, right? This is you talk about this one. I thought it was very cool when I saw the piece.
I just noticed this guy for the first time this week because of this piece. I love that it's so angular. It's like it looks like it's constructed, you know, just shape upon shape upon shape. It's definitely got all that like Kirby weirdness that, you know, we love about both of the characters. I thought it was really God, what would I say? Daring in a way, the way he did the surfboard. It's off kilter. It's basically like, again, it's just like a shape. It's this oblong shape that's kind of like striking through from the left to the middle. I think he did the power effects in such a cool way, in such a like a really graphic way. The whole thing is really strongly graphic, and it's very, you know, there's really no gradients happening here anywhere. So it's pure black and white, which I like. That is the hardest way to do anything. You know, in art, is to just, you know, pure black, pure white. There's really little to no room for error. So happily, like, one of the reasons I picked this is because I saw this, I was kind of taken by it. And then I found this guy on Instagram, and he's working on a Hulk versus Thing commission for somebody right now that like is equally cool. And I'm hoping it's somebody on CAF and I get to pick it in a few weeks.
Well, I'm not familiar either, so I'm just curious if, well, there's a few other pieces out there posted by, well, they're on CAF. I had no idea. Charles is on CAF. Interesting. There you go. That's why he's got a few pieces for sale. Huh. I've clearly sent him a thank you email, since I thank everybody who goes premium, but I don't remember that. Interesting. All right. Well, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to open that and throw that over there. Okay, cool.
What do you think?
Yeah, Thing versus a Hulk. So what, on their Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think about this?
I like it. I really like the energy effect, you know, in his hand. I think that's just such a unique take on it. It feels kind of like almost like a woodcut type of thing. I mean, I like it, and I love the patterns, and strangely, I didn't notice the board drawn like that, and now I'm smitten by it, because it's like, I don't think I've ever seen the board drawn like that before. It's just cool, and the composition's fun. I mean, it's horizontal, and there's just something about it. I mean, it's so off kilter. His arm reaching across himself. I mean, there's just it's an odd pose, but it all works because he gave himself enough room to get all of Galactus's head in there, you know, through the layout. So there's a lot of considerations going on in this piece to get these patterns to all work well together. And James Dornoff said the scale is fun too. Yeah. All right. Nope, I like that one. I got my like on that one. Next up, I'm not even gonna look. Okay, there you go. Marcus was number 2 on that one. Okay. All right, Becky Cloonan's artwork for The Last Halloween. Let me click on that. Whoa, this is a good scan.
So the thing that Marcus was just giving me a hard time about in the chat is on full display here. This has Toth and Mignola and Somni, and, you know, Becky Cloonan is definitely also squarely in that wheelhouse. I love the trees are so Mignola-esque. there might actually even be more black on this had Mike done it, but the architecture here just sings. I mean, it's absolutely perfectly done. It's creepy. Like the mood is really absolutely over the top in this piece. I love the, Gordon and Batman like walking through the like dilapidated mansion at the bottom. I don't know. It just like, this is such great storytelling and it's so atmospheric.
Yeah, no, I agree too. I love the how she's fit, because it's a DPS and crossing the middle of the page with that image. I mean, just compositionally, it's so well done, and unlike a lot of other DPSs that I've ever seen before. I'm really, there are a lot of challenging stuff there because you're going from outside to inside, like you said. That inset, the last panel is really well done, and just the contrast between that and going up the stairs and the outside of the building and the main image is great. And those trees,
those textures on the trees, I know.
Man. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Let me see here. I got to get my like on that one. All right. Oh, like Becky and me. There we go. Let's see. Another giant one. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah. No masking tape on the back of that one.
Nah, look at how cool just the left image looks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Well, Joe A. Where do we go from here? Oh, Southern Comic Geek. What do we got here? G.I. Joe issue 6, pages 2 and 3. Another DP. You're in a DPS kind of mindset here.
I love a good DPS. I'm no James, but I love a good DPS.
Let's take a look at this one. There we go.
So Tom Riley is knocking it out of the park in this book.
Yeah.
George has posted like some of his character designs that like he's picked up. I think it's a respectful treatment of like all the characters while like making some cool updates and some fun updates for, new readers.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought this was so cool from the perspective that like he's kind of recapping what has happened to the characters up to this point in 2 pages. And he's doing it like just with this like montage of images, but it's telling a story. And at the same time, like you still get those 2 like very cool kind of more graphic but iconic shots of the 2 main characters at the bottom. So you're still kind of like present in what's happening in spite of the fact that like you're really seeing like flashbacks.
Right. No, it's really well done. I mean, I love the silhouette characters at the bottom. I mean, the way they've handled this. This is the way like a flashback scene should be. There's no rounded corner panels in this one. Everybody, they use the DPS and just layered on all of these events for them.
Yeah, wedging everything together like that and like still making it like legible. It all reads. Yeah,
I like it. Wow. Congrats, Jason. This one's great. Really, really nice piece.
Yeah.
All right. I did get my like on that one. Oh, wait, I want to see how it's colored.
Now you got me hoping I didn't pick any other DPSs.
We're going to find out. Oh, see, they did it all. So they made it very clear in the way they colored it. I got it.
Works.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
But even that, like, there's really kind of a minimum of dialogue on there. The pictures are telling the story.
Right. Wow. Gosh, the coloring on this thing is really well done. Mm-hmm. Don't say that too often. I like that. Wow. Oh man. All right. Well, what's next here? Joe Liu, from Australia. They're down under, and they've been a member of the site for 16 years.
Wow.
Now, that's a long time. Oh well, one of your another favorite of yours, Carlos Dirmas. This is good. This is really nice. My gosh. I wonder what do you say with the size? It's got to be at least 11 by 17. Can you imagine how look at all the detail in that thing?
Yeah. I think it's so fun to see him work on something that you feel like is outside his wheelhouse. And then he does something like this and you're like, is anything outside his wheelhouse? I mean, when you see him do, the Swamp Thing or the Endless or like whatever, more Vertigo style stuff, and it's like, yeah, okay, he's really firing on all 8 cylinders here. But then, like, well, he wouldn't be able to do the Marvel family, right? And you see it, and it's clearly like, this is him, right? He's not veering stylistically in any way, shape, or form, but he's just done this, like, I guess, quote unquote, the right way, so that the characters are all like on model. Like, we know who we're seeing. He's not really like pushing the envelope as far as like redoing anything crazy with their costumes or whatever. And like, the sheer volume of Marvel family characters that he has packed into the, lower 2/3 of this piece is staggering. You could, if you own this thing, this is one of those pieces that you would look at like every day and be like, oh yeah, oh my God, I never noticed that before. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I wish we could blow it up.
Yeah.
Because I want to see the line work on this thing. It's gorgeous, just in what we can see. But you're right. I mean, when I think of his work, I just think it's gritty, and it goes well with Swamp Thing. It goes well with Sandman books, whatever. I mean, you can see that. And then, I would never even think of asking him to draw something like this, but he's been able to tackle it. And I mean,
with aplomb.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Honestly,
it's a gutsy ask on the part of the commissioner.
Yeah. Well, it worked out well in their favor. I mean, they challenged him.
Yeah.
All right, Michael Reyes. Oh, this
is just ridiculous.
I know. I'll let you go first, because everything I'd say you would probably you'd probably say the same thing, and you picked this one, so you get to say.
Let me ask you this. Let me put the ball back in your court. How would you display this? Would you do it vertical or landscape?
I mean, I would do it as is right here.
I think I would too, but like, you see what I'm saying though, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, I mean, because that's the thing, he's tilted it, like 78 degrees, the city, and it almost could be done differently. He's found a way to find an angle that we've not really seen before.
While at the same time, Spidey's, his weight, the pose, like, it's still dynamic. It's still like, God, what do I want to say here? Like, it feels like a Spider-Man pose, right? Keeping in mind that he's like, sticking to the side of a building. And I cannot think of one time ever that I've seen someone illustrate a power effect for him sticking to a wall.
Right.
So I feel like he just came up with that.
Same thing. The more I looked at this, there was just so many things that Paulo just added to make this thing just feel right. I mean, because he's by doing that, that Spidey just hit the building, and like you said, the weight is proper. I mean, so he's like weighting him down on here, because it's just, I don't know. Paulo amazes me, and every time I see something new by him, and I just, you don't think you can see Spidey in a different light, and then here he goes out and he does it. And I was struck just looking at the skyline behind him too, just the way the buildings are drawn. I mean, or painted. They're just unbelievable.
And I don't like Spider-Man, like, at all. And I
didn't buy Spidey,
and I was like, this is one of the coolest Paulo images I've ever seen. I don't care that it's Spider-Man. I mean, you have to care that it's Spider-Man because the subject matter is so important to like what he executed, like how he did what he did. It's about being a Spider-Man cover. I understand that, but like, I kind of still don't care. Like, there's so much to like appreciate and like talk about, really, right? I mean, I could talk about this piece for 10 minutes.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. It is so damn good.
Yeah.
I know. Well, the striking reds, and I mean, okay, you're right. We could just talk about it forever. That's it. There's just too much here. That's great. We just bow down to Paulo. We just hope he keeps making traditional.
Who has this? Who's this?
I didn't even look because the artwork was too awesome. Okay, it's Michael Reyes. Yeah, Michael Reyes. Okay. I think Michael doesn't he have a few pieces by Paulo. Let's see how they. Yeah, wow, they actually pumped it up.
Yeah, I like the little logo treatment.
Yeah.
I don't like what they did with the colors.
Yeah, boy. Well, that's just incredible.
I mean, Paolo might have done that after the fact too, digitally. I'm not sure, but I actually really liked the richness that he had in the blues in the painting.
Maki poo poo. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's that's one of my favorite Riveras in a while. And Spidey's even muscular in here. You know, everybody's been going with the Leith. You know, he's like he's light as a feather. You know, Miles. He kind of. Yeah. I don't know. Splashes are close. Yeah. Gosh. All right. I got to move on from this one. We could talk about it forever. Okay, my stuff.
Let's go.
This one was more. Yeah, I picked this one because this is one of my good storylines of their origin of Quicksilver and Wanda and stuff. I always liked these issues. I thought they were weird, and of course, then you have John Byrne and Dan Green doing the art chores on it. I just it's just always been memorable for me. To me, it's like I like if I was to get a Burns, a page by Byrne that wasn't uncanny, it would be something from like this Avengers run or from his run on Marvel Team Up. I like that kind of era work of his, along with the early X-Men stuff. And so yeah, when I saw this, it hits all the right chords, and it's in Steve Lawrence's calf. He just keeps adding. He is just like stocking up on his childhood every single time with a banger after, I mean, come on, the Paul Smith X-Men cover just recently, and then this. It's just
Respect.
like, exactly.
Is this Modred? Is that who that is?
Yeah, I think that was his name, right? Yeah.
Okay.
But
he's like red and green. I was trying to like picture him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But great page. Love it. Did I love it enough to put no, I didn't. I didn't even like it yet. There we go. That's taken care of.
Ding.
Congrats, Steve.
And how do we feel about Green on Byrne?
I mean, I don't mind it.
I like it.
I'm looking at, especially in these like first two panels where there's not a lot of shading things going on as there are in the other ones. I think he's inking him the way I'd want it done. I love that. I think it's fairly close to Austin in his own way there. I'm not too. I like it. I mean, come on, Dan Green inked Jack Kirby. We just learned that earlier. I had no idea. Right? Who would have guessed? But yeah. All right. So then, where was the next thing? Oh, that's right. This one. This is a tough one to look at, but we can zoom in on it here. This is a Four Horsemen. It's a Bastion piece. I just thought it was too awesome to not feature. It's just look at that. This is crazy. I don't know if it was picked up at Heroes or not, but I would have liked to have seen this one.
Wow.
I mean, how that's just nuts. This is like something you'd see in an old Bible or something. My God, the way it's so perfect. It's crazy. How does he do this?
It's too detailed to call up like Dürer or Albrecht Dürer or Gustave Doré, but I mean, thematically, subject matter is certainly in that wheelhouse. But wow, I mean, this is so much more wrought than Yeesh.
Yeah.
How long does this take someone? How long does this take Jeremy Bastion?
Right. I mean, because look at all the textures
how do you
in there.
price this thing, knowing that you spent,
right, exactly.
3 months of your life making tick marks.
Exactly. I know. I agree. I have no idea how he prices this stuff. The few things that I've seen him price, I think are far, aren't priced high enough. And yeah, when you see something like that, it's just wow.
And like, look at how effectively layered it is.
So this was a commission too. Wow. For sale status, never.
those poor humans at the bottom.
Yeah. Well, did you notice that? I mean, they all look like they're. I mean, look at this woman. I mean, she is that. Yeah. She is now seen to. Yeah. But yeah, that's fantastic. So, yeah, congrats to DJ for getting that one. And I couldn't be happier. See, it's cool stuff like this. Again, a commission. It's brought this piece into the world. It took 5 years, he says, but still, we wouldn't have it if we weren't commissioning artists like Jeremy. So yeah, let's
That belongs in a museum.
It does. Now this one's in Nick Forst's calf gallery, and it's funny. I think because I remember seeing this, and I think when I was doing the pre-OAX commissions with Josh, he showed this. You know, like, what do you? I think I asked him, like, what are you working on? You know, just to kind of like, how do I fill the time? I feel like he showed this during that little segment I did with him, because I'm like, I know I've seen this before, and but it was a while back, and yeah, so I think that's what it was from. But I thought this was awesome. I mean, I love Josh's work, and that, you know, this is fun. And reading Nick's description, he said that you know, Martha had made some suggestions or something in there for some of the characters and changes and things, and you know, that just makes it even a little bit more fun. But yeah, Nick, this was a good piece. I really like it a lot. And you said your
Apocalypse has to be a mummy, right?
I know, isn't that awesome? Look at that. That is so good.
And White Queen's a witch. Yeah, of course. These make so much sense.
Yep. Yeah, Nick says he got it for
patch. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, Nick picked it up, or he said, "Oh, you got it for New York City. Got it 24." Okay. All right. Cool. Well, anyways, it's a good one. It's a really good one. Wow. Josh is awesome, and he'll be back to OAX. Then I had to pick this one. You know, it's Vess, and it's Marvel Fanfare Doctor Strange page. You know, there isn't there isn't a lot of interior work, or there isn't enough interior work out there for Vess. I didn't think this was like the best Vess I've ever seen, because this, you know, when I think of Vess and the stuff I love his illustration work, big splashy stuff, nature scenes, those sorts of things. But because we don't get the opportunity to see pages like this too often, I wanted to at least highlight it. I mean, to me, I think the figures are a little stiff in it, but still, it's Vess. There's not a lot of this work out there. And
what I thought was so interesting about this is it feels like so you're talking about, like, he normally does X, Y, and Z, right? You don't see a lot of this. So when I looked at this, I thought, like, well, this doesn't look like him, really. You know, I feel like he went out of his way in a good way. He went out of his way to make this fit, right? Like, this looks like a Doctor Strange book from the period. And, you know, we all know Marvel, like, especially during this era, was like very concerned about like having artistic continuity, visual continuity in the book for month over month. Like, so if you change an artist, like, don't do something too crazy. Don't, like, you know, shoo people away from the book. And that's what this feels like to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Rich, maybe I crossed over a day. I could have, as far as if it wasn't last week. If so, I apologize. It happens sometimes. Like I said, today I was trying to pick stuff that was already posted this week, and I was very frustrated. But
your show, your rules, Bill.
That's right. That's right. I'm allowed to break them. But there you go. We have a Vess. This was in Peter Rose Calf Gallery, Joe Kubert, Losers cover. I just thought, you know, I highlight, and it's almost like you can say the same thing about so many Kubert covers. You know, they're breaking through a doorway, they're going into a bunker, but there's always the bad guys, you know, around the corner. You know, they act like they got it. It's this kind of stuff that sold comics to kids. You know, what's going to happen? How are they going to? You know, how are the losers going to survive this?
Bring them in.
You know, exactly. I mean, I love it, and it's like every Kubert war cover has that element of something hidden, some kind of a surprise in store for the characters.
Not quite what you think it is.
Yeah, and I like this one a lot. I love the gunner. You know, the guy with that you know, the Gatling gun or whatever the heck that is.
That's a water-cooled machine gun.
So you know,
so it's one barrel, but that jacket around the outside has water in it.
Oh. Well, I like this one. This is good. Peter Rowe just adds to his awesome war collection. And actually, Peter, I'm going to be sending you a gift. Believe it or not, last weekend when I was going through some stuff, I found a couple things I'm going to send your way, because it's like I've had some stuff for a while, and they belong to you.
Ooh.
So, yeah, it's just like, yeah. So Peter, hopefully maybe we'll have Peter on. He can do an unboxing or something. That might be fun.
There you go.
Yeah, but anyways, great pickup. I love this one. Yeah, it's a really awesome cover. Yeah, what do I got here? Okay, here's the piece by Miles Wohl. Tom McDonald, and I had
person.
Yep, I almost Tom sent I don't think he made it a public video yet, but he recorded a video of the unboxing of this piece when we were at Rob's house at Heroes, and it was just fun getting to see him see the piece for the first time. Miles was there, and you weren't there at the OAX last year, but Miles he's just getting better and better.
Yeah,
and he will be
because thanks to Tom.
Oh, good. Yeah, he will be back in 2026, and I look forward to the things that he's going to work on that he's going to do just for the show and bring to the show, because his booth the art just popped off the walls. I mean, he's just a couple booths down from Dan Dos Santos, but Miles' work has a vibrancy and his color just like as good as anybody else in the room. So
Tom got a great scan of this because so often paintings, especially, we're like, it looks a lot better in person. This is a good looking reproduction of it.
Definitely. Yeah, I like playing around with this one as a show graphic too, because it was just so damn vibrant. Yeah. All right. Well, but I didn't like this one yet. What the heck? Okay. Well, there we go. But great piece. Miles continues to do wonderful work. Then I picked this one. This was a New Mutants page, Sienkiewicz, of course. Has Legion in it. I just love the page layout more than anything. And I love all these damn, there's lots of action, things flying all over the room. And so I just love all these damn lines going all over the place. Sometimes they're crossing over from one panel to the next. Sometimes, they're broken and disjointed.
But no tangents.
Right. There you go. That's what makes it cool.
Go Bill Sienkiewicz.
Yeah. This is awesome. I mean, because I don't know why do I have to say that, but I like this one a lot. This one is pretty. And I don't know who's Kafka. Oh, Andrew G. Okay, great art and history page for it. Yeah, James, you're right. Those of us who are Legion fans, this is a good one. But I love the composition on this thing. You could just it could be from any book, and I would love it. This could,
this is. I mean, as far as Sienkiewicz interior pages go, this has got it all.
Yep. Yeah. Does it have enough comments yet? Let's see. Oh my gosh, 16 comments, 17 likes, getting plenty of love. What is this shared? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, now it's got another like. All right, 3 more to go here. This was Luca Baldi. I just thought, it's Sale, Spider-Man Blue. I mean, such kind of a simplistic piece, but so seductive, and
you just boiled it all down.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a beautiful piece. I mean, holy crap! I mean, I'm looking at it now. I mean, it's so wonderful. I mean, I love, it's a very stylized, facial structure and everything. The eyes might be a little too far apart. The nose might be a little small. The lips might be a little big. But boy, it all works so freaking well, and the hair just all ties it together. I just love this piece.
Well, it's certainly all on purpose, right? I mean, he wants you to look at what you're looking at. Like, you can always say, Tim Sale, like, that is one of his absolute strengths in my mind, is like, your eye goes exactly where he wanted it to.
Exactly. Man, I don't think everybody's going to be saying Snork is a Legion fan now.
Not David Haller, though.
I think a t-shirt needs to be made.
Snork, I'm a fan of his hair, I guess. His hair's pretty rad.
Yep. Oh man. So congrats to Luca on that one. This one was just a cool one. Don Rosa, it's in Monty B's Calf Gallery.
Yeah.
I mean,
I saw this in the email. I was like, oh, we got a Don Rosa tonight.
I know. I mean, I think we picked Don Rosa once or twice in the past, but this one, I really love that first panel. I mean, it's just so nutty. And the thing is, you think that the rest of the page can't really hold up to something that's so hyper detailed and crazy as that first one. And the second 2 panels are, 2 and 3 are great. And it kind of is fun being balanced. I haven't read the page. I almost felt like
a strip at the bottom onto itself, like a newspaper strip.
Exactly. So, I think this is just marvelous. And I don't say that.
Vicious Gallery?
What's that?
People are saying Cosmic Scrooge. Is this in Fish's gallery?
No, this is who's Monty B. I said that, yeah, already. Yeah. Well, Monty, this is right up Monty's alley. I mean, he always is kind of posting things along of this vein. But yeah, look at that. I love this thing.
It's really cool for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's a good one. And I'm gonna have to leave a comment on it. I like it that much. And you're right. It's so funny that bottom, those 3 panels is just like a strip.
Yeah.
It's so clean.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow. Does it say what year it is? From 1997.
Oh, wow.
His classic Attack of the Hideous Space Monsters. Huh.
Man, when somebody says something from 1997 is classic, it's like a dagger in my heart.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why, but look, there is like a split there, from the top panel to the rest. I'm not sure why that would be, but anyway, that makes it even more cool. Come on, it's 28 years old. Shoot. All right, what did I pick last? Oh, I'm starting to like that Kirby guy on X-Men.
I didn't want to say anything this time, but the last time a Kirby X-Men page popped up, I made sure I was like, just so you know.
There's a good one in there.
I saw this and I was like, if he picks it, he picks it.
Here's another good one, right? I mean, look at that. Seeing stuff like this, is making me second guess that Werner Roth, head of.
I mean, he only created them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is, it's classic 6-panel Kirby.
Yeah.
Every page has, some kind of action going on, and I love that first panel with Angel trying to sock Magneto. You got Toad hopping around in the second one. I mean, every panel is so, it's super dynamic. And then there's Cyclops looking like a dork with a coat on and his oversized sunglasses. But other than that, this page is freaking awesome.
Oh.
But who's Captain?
And isn't he like, I guess I don't know for sure, but Cyclops is like what, 18 years old at this time or something, around there, right? 17 maybe.
Right.
This is the outfit he's rocking.
Yeah.
Looks like
he's behind me, Gene. Whatever is awaiting us up there, let me face it first. All right. He was still figuring out how to be a leader for the team.
Narc.
Oh man, but I love it. I think this is awesome. So yeah, I am starting to second guess myself. But hey, that you saw the Werner Roth result. That was crazy. I don't know what's this. I may not be able to get another one.
Maybe you guys should get the band back together and talk about current top 5 X-Men artists.
We should.
That
was such a fun format.
People change.
I remember Tatiana was going to do like a Batman one, and that was like right after it, and then we just never did it. That would have been there's so many good conversations to have around that, especially when you're looking at characters first, and you have to I mean, gosh, we should be doing that. This should be like a quarterly show on the channel.
Almost, right. I mean, it's fertile ground.
Oh hell yeah! Because I mean, think about
Avengers artists, top 5 FF artists, top
Legion.
5. Yeah.
Exactly.
Keith Giffen.
For me, that would be it. I could
because the 3 different styles.
All right, yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that. We do production meetings like once a week, so we got to figure out because that's such a good topic. You can go on forever.
The interesting thing too about Batman, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jason was so militant about it has to be a person who had a run of X number of issues on the main book. And how do you do that for Batman?
Right.
Because you've got Batman, Detective, World's Finest, Brave and the Bold. I mean, on and on and on and on. Right. And then to be totally honest, some of the best interpretations of Batman that I've ever seen are guys that have never worked on the book.
Right. True. Yeah.
So you'd have to have some ground.
That would be a tough one.
Yeah.
But that would be cool because, if you have 4 or 5 panelists, everybody should have a very, there shouldn't be a lot of, there'll be some crossover. There has to be, but then 3, everybody should have 3 that just don't match anybody else's.
I'm sure they wouldn't. And not to mention, Batman's been around a hell of a lot longer than the X-Men.
True.
You know?
Yeah, very true. And people might have, yeah, you're right. They would approach it in many different ways.
I mean, maybe somebody's favorite Batman, maybe somebody's number one for
how
Batman.
many are going to have Tim
Frank.
Sale on the list, right? I mean, they might, maybe nobody, or maybe only one, right?
Well, that's kind of my point, though. Like, he never worked on Batman,
right?
Batman, right? But he's a big contributor. Just wasn't on that core title,
right? Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to think about this one.
Yeah,
I like that. All right, cool.
Go Rich, yeah, Kevin Nolan.
Yeah, all right. See, Kane, yeah. We're gonna be talking about Bob Kane next Tuesday.
Really?
Actually, yeah. Rob Hughes, collector on CAF. He got started. He met Bob Kane. And I'm not gonna give his story away, but it was in the 70s when he had a Bob Kane experience.
Okay.
And he was still, I don't even think he was a teenager yet. And so he has original Bob Kane, and he's got a story to tell.
Okay.
So that'll be part of his origin story next week.
All right.
Oh man. All right. Well, listen, we just crossed the midnight hour. So thank you as always, Chris. We did it. We got it done in a reasonable amount of time. Hang out though. I want to talk to you for a couple minutes after we're done here, but so we'll just stay on here with me. So everybody, this is it. It's officially 4th of July, at least where I'm at right now. So enjoy your weekend. We don't have we have no shows scheduled, live streams for this week. I do have a couple of videos that I will be dropping probably each day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you missed the Frazetta show that we did on Monday, Frankie Jr. did a walkthrough of the whole museum that we stopped. I mean, it literally took us like 40 minutes to go through it. Well, I'm going to post that by itself as a standalone video. That'll probably go up tomorrow. It's just amazing to see. And even after you see it, it's like I'd still want to go to the museum because I want to see those pieces in person. But now I really want to go because I've seen photos, but I never really had a true understanding of the space and what was there. Now that I see that, it makes me really want to go. So I've got to drop that one tomorrow. But I hope everybody has a great holiday weekend. And I'm cooking out tomorrow. I hope, Chris, are you cooking out? I know you're gonna be smoking a cigar
all day today. I smoked ribs. I smoked a cigar.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Well, have a great weekend, and we'll be back next Tuesday with a show. We'll talk to you again after the holiday.